Fala galera, continuando aqui nossa campanha de Metafora e Fantasma no PlayStation 5. Lembrando que estamos jogando aqui para a Platina, né? Então estamos seguindo um guia aí. E estamos jogando a dificuldade História, para dar uma facilitada no nosso grind. E vídeo passado a gente fez várias dungeons, né? Estamos nos preparando para enfrentar o Lois. E aqui, agora dia 20/9 aqui, o que nós temos que fazer? Vocês me perguntam, e eu me pergunto. A gente tem uma missão para entregar, eu acho. Ou já entreguei no último vídeo? Acho que não. Não entreguei não. Então vamos aqui pra praça. Entregar a missão aqui desse soldado que diz que enfrenta o Lois. Pera, essa clava de aparência perigosa é a clava espinhosa? Nunca imaginei que veria isso. Deixa eu me olhar mais de perto. Essa clava de Euchronia, tenho certeza. Eles realmente acabaram com ele. Ei, e aí? Feliz agora? Vai admitir que somos fortes o bastante para derrotar o Lois? Eu admito que vocês são mais fortes que os Zerocops. Zerocops, não Zero. Mas não tenho como saber se são mais fortes que o Lois. Mas vocês não zombaram de mim por querer matar ele. E levaram esse pedido a sério. Isso significa muito pra mim. Ou dar ouvidos a todos. Você dá ouvido a todos. Eu diria que princípios assim fazem de você um rei mais digno do que de Lois. Talvez você realmente seja capaz de superar o Lois e se sentar naquele trono brilhante. Você tem meu respeito absoluto. Levem isso como meu voto de confiança. Espero que ajude na luta de vocês contra aquele maldito. Vocês realmente fizeram jus à reputação de vocês. Então aqui vai um pagamento extra. Toma. Missão concluída. Aumentou coragem. Teoricamente nossa coragem upa pro máximo. Isso, coragem heróico. Agora só precisamos upar sabedoria. Parece que joguei mal vocês. Peço desculpas por isso. Não vai ser fácil derrotar o Lois, mas podem contar com o meu apoio. Lutem pra valer. E a gente agradece bastante. Nós não vamos desapontar ninguém que confia na gente, né, Ambud? Isso aí. Ninguém vai sair desapontado. E agora que a gente entregou a missão, vamos passar um tempinho com o Basílio. Tá lá na praça da taverna, né? E aí, tá fazendo o quê? O Luiz tá esperando. A gente precisa estar na melhor forma física pra lutar. Eu tô preocupado com o Vinca. Você tem que passar por Barrelhaven por alguma hora. Tá, vamos lá pra Barrelhaven então com ele. Falar com o Vinca. Ei, você ficou sabendo? Aquela loja ali também foi atacada. Quebraram o pescoço do lojista que nem os dos outros. Não era essa loja que estava vendendo ignitores por baixo dos panos? Talvez tenham irritado alguém. Dizem que um páripus está por trás disso. E a jogar pelos ferimentos é um homem muito forte. Talvez ele seja mesmo um monstro. O quê? Outro assassinato? Esse lugar tá cada vez mais abandonado pela lei. E mano, é o Vinca que tá matando a galera. Como vingança. O Vinca. Vinca, o que foi? São suas feridas? Ih, vai com calma aí. Basílio? Como assim? Tá preocupado comigo? Sério? Você não é irmão do Fidel à toa. Ele sempre vinha me ver quando tava mal. Mesmo quando era só porque eu tinha comido alguma coisa estragada. Acho que foi isso, não? Se fosse só comida estragada mesmo, você estaria com a barriga doendo. Não sou mais criança. Não vou mais cair nessas suas mentiras. De qualquer forma, vamos te levar para uma igreja. Um dos curandeiros deve ter algum remédio para a dor, pelo menos. Eu não gosto da igreja. Eu entendo, mas... Por que vocês não entendem? A minha hora de morrer chegou. É simplesmente isso. Você não vai morrer. Tô cansado disso, amigo. Cansado de não poder salvar as pessoas com quem me importo. Não me fala que você vai morrer. Diz que vai melhorar. Tá bom. Eu vou pra igreja com vocês. Só que mais tarde. Tem um negócio pra resolver primeiro. Que tipo de negócio? Ele disse que era importante. Então, deve pagar bem, né? Bem, a gente ajuda. Vamos resolver logo isso aí. Sim. Acho que vocês dois podem ajudar. Preciso de um tempinho pra me preparar. Venham me ver mais tarde, tá bom? Só não inventa de sumir. Você prometeu, não prometeu? O Vinca é o assassino, tô falando. Peraí, golinho na água aqui. Desculpa por ter te arrastado pra esse trabalho com o Vinca sem te perguntar. Se eu estivesse aqui, eu levaria uma bronca por isso. Eu esperava outra coisa de você. Não sei dizer se isso é um elogio. Se for, obrigado. Ainda bem que você tava aqui, senão o Vinca teria me enrolado de novo. Você também não tem juízo, sabia? Poucos teriam me apoiado nisso. Obrigado. Beleza, essa história vai desenrolar depois. Grau 4 reduz significativamente o custo de Magla. Então vamos voltar quando o Vinca terminar os preparativos. Conto com você de novo. Volta ao Taberry. Beleza, agora a gente vai passar o tempo com o Alonso. Vou upar ele pra rank 7. É você? Parece que sua jornada vai muito bem. É o que eu quero perguntar pra você faz tempo. No seu mundo ideal, você acha que é necessário... que há necessidade de mentiras? Sim. Bom saber. Agora do ato final do nosso espetáculo, a performance da minha vida. E você, meu amigo, é crucial para o sucesso da produção. Está pronto? Claro. Obrigado, eu sabia que você iria conseguir. Consentir, ótimo. Vamos começar o espetáculo. Você está pronto? Tudo certo. Então vamos para a taberna. É hora de celebrar com um banquete das iguarias mais deliciosas. Realmente eu te conheci no pior momento possível, mas acho que é a prova de que nossa parceria é obra do destino. Cuide-se. Minha cabeça dói. Eu tava mexendo aqui no volume do fone. Eu deveria estar comendo com Alonso na taberna. Devo ter desmaiado. Pode ter sido alguma coisa que colocaram na minha comida. Esta é a praça de Biohaven? Quem você acha que foi responsável por essa barbaridades? Sim, foi aquele homem, o Cúculus. Ele enganou pessoas do bem e depois os vendeu como escravas. Encheu os próprios bolsos para satisfazer seus desejos depravados. Alguns de vocês podem estar preocupados com as minhas intenções, afinal, eu sou o vilão, não é mesmo? Vocês estariam corretíssimos. Cúculus fez minha família de refém. Usou minha influência como senhor e me forçou a cometer fraudes. Eu não pude dizer não porque amo minha família. Por isso, para todos vocês que sofreram com os impostos injustos, eu peço desculpas do fundo do meu coração. Mas Cúculus não usou só a mim. Ele incendiou a própria cidade natal quando ela se tornou um obstáculo para ele. No fim das contas, a própria mãe resistiu à vilania dele e ele a matou. Como assim? A própria mãe? É um monstro. Fala alguma coisa. Morre! O Alonso não reagiu. Ele não consegue me ouvir com essa multidão fazendo barulho. Você não conseguirá se safar dessa. Arrependa-se de seus pecados, Cúculus. Redenção? Redenção por quê? Até água suja comprada com dinheiro roubado de trouxas é mais saborosa do que a ambrósia dos deuses. Eu fiz uma bela fortuna com o nosso senhor aqui. Existe alguma utilidade para pessoas ingênuas em posições de poder, além de serem exploradas? Minha mãe? Minha cidade natal? Como se eu desse a mínima para isso? E a culpa é minha? Não. A culpa dos fracassos de vocês é toda sua e de mais ninguém. E esse asqueroso, mata ele de uma vez. Ah, aí está você, finalmente. Escutem, este homem aqui se chama Humboldt e foi ele que salvou minha família. Ele fingiu trabalhar com cúmulos e salvou as vítimas em apuros. Ademais, ele capturou o maldito vilão e trouxe até mim. Como todos já devem saber, ele é um dos candidatos a rei. E é um herói de verdade. Um que merece vestir a coroa. Quem? Esse garoto? Esse garoto vai ser rei? Ora, se não é o senhor herói em pessoa. Olha só essa bagunça que você me causou. Vou contar a verdade pra eles. A verdade? Tudo foi calculado para chegar a este momento. Eu só pude cumprir o propósito da minha vida por sua causa. Nunca tive dúvida de que você não queria ter que virar rei. Mas não é assim que as coisas funcionam. Você vai ter que sentar no trono. Vença Humboldt. Vença pelo bem deste mundo. Não faço a menor ideia do que está acontecendo. Mas vendo ele aqui na minha frente, posso sentir a determinação e a fé inabalável de alunos em mim. Grau 7. Reduz sim o preço preço nas lojas de magia. Bloqueia analisar dados para todos os inimigos. Com algumas exceções. Vou tomar uma água aqui, peraí. Não parece, mas ficar falando um monte assim cansa. Cansa numa garganta seca demais. Agora recebeu a punição que tanto merece. A vida do golpista Cúculos termina aqui. O latifundiário executou a sentença. Alonso se foi. Deixei aquele lugar e voltei. Como assim? Graças ao sacrifício de Alonso, toda a vila passou a me apoiar. Caralho, como assim?
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Muito bem, o dia de enfrentar o Low está chegando.
Look at this.
O dia final de Lois está chegando. Muito bem, né? É dia 21 agora, né? Agora nós vamos para o nosso trotador. Deixa eu abrir aqui a dispensa. Beleza. E agora a gente vai fazer a rota para o trotador do Milo. Cadê o trotador dele aqui, ó? Vamos lá. Muito bem. Traçamos a rota. E a gente vai ler um livro aqui agora. A gente vai terminar de ler aquele livro da apostila de leitura escrita. Sim, ler o livro. De caligrafia, tem umas letras escritas ao contrário, talvez pelo Fidélio. Elas parecem delicadas no meio da caligrafia pesada do Basílio. A última seção só tem uma palavra escrita. Na caligrafia de Basílio diz viver. A letra do Basílio é grande e forte, que nem ele. Beleza. O que a gente precisa agora é de sabedoria, né? Mas isso daqui a gente fez para completar e ler todos os livros. Depois terminei o livro, sinto que minha compreensão do mundo se aprofundou. E aí, bibliófilo. Leu todos os livros.
With the protection of the royal magic gone, the tournament for the throne escalates. Those who would turn the tide with military might are spurred by opportunity. Milo's path to a world where beauty reigns is once again thwarted by the party's gauntlet runner. his frustration boils over, marring his elegant countenance.
Vocês estão prontos? Temos Milo e seu palácio da beleza, Vibrante, capturados esperando. Parece que estavam esperando por isso. Ele já está a bordo e ansioso para partir. Trapaceiro que enganou o Loveless. Vamos com tudo, ele merece. Vamos lá. Vamos acabar com ele.
Milo, you're not getting away from us now.
It would appear this is turning in a decidedly uglier direction. Alas, I'd have much preferred if you and that Loveless had blotted out one another. Oh, unfortunate souls who fall so tragically short of my beauty. A shame. Mutual elimination would have been your sole means of bettering this world.
Shut your mouth! How dare you trick us!
Well, I suppose there is one way I might rectify this situation and secure the reign of beauty. I need only dispose of you all here and now. Of course, if you intend to defy me, then you're welcome to try. Clear off! As moths to a flame!
We're not just gonna let you win.
Vamos abaixar a defesa.
You truly are revolting.
Fire! Their weakness!
Defrar contra fogo, beleza.
The power of fire!
Hit their weak points! Keep it
The
up!
ugly shall be purged.
Not comrades, lend me your strength. As the point of a sword, may yet bring to light.
I have my methods.
Vamos ver se dá mais turno. Deu.
Wizard! Burn!
Mano, acho que eu vou trocar pro Animago. Animago. Animago?
What about you is actually beautiful? You belittle people. You manipulate them with your schemes. I genuinely don't understand. What is anyone supposed to find beautiful about you?
Silence! I am beautiful. Surely you need only look, yes? Even a plain, simple little girl like you will understand if you look upon my face.
I am sorry, but is there something I should find appealing about it?
In any case, you lost. And if you try to manipulate us ever again, you'll regret it.
Se manipular de novo, você não vai ter tanta sorte de sair vivo.
That'll do.
I admit, it feels...
I didn't know I had it in me.
Well, that settles that.
Bom trabalho. A gente cumpriu nosso objetivo, então vamos voltar para a cidade. Muito bem. Agora a gente vai falar com a Caterina. A gente vai pegar nível máximo com ela já, né? É isso mesmo. Isso mesmo, senhoras e senhores. Rank máximo com Caterina. Tem um anúncio a fazer para os outros páreos. Você tem que ouvir também. Vem comigo. Vamos lá. Obrigado. Agora eu sei o que fazer. Presta atenção para não perder nada. Fala que vai estar com voz, por favor.
I didn't gather you here just to hand out free money.
Obrigado.
I did it to help you find good work. Because, see, if you find good work, you don't need to depend on other people. And that means you've got no one dragging you along. You decide how you want to live, and you make the most of it. So let's hear it. Want to live on your own terms? I'm sure the answer's pretty clear. We can get there, one step at a time. And today, right here, is your first step.
A pretty speech, no doubt. But who's gonna hire a parapet?
I can answer that. Where I work, there's an old man who said if Katharina vouches for them, he'll hire them. No questions asked.
Sure, but we don't have the skills for a workshop like that.
I know. That's why we're gonna get you some proper schooling.
We're going to erect a facility right here and hire a teacher who'll show you how to read and write and perform calculations. You can also learn carpentry, needlework, or medicine. And once you've the skills, we can talk to workshops and trade associations.
I don't care about any of that! I say just give us money! Sounds like a right pain in the arse. There's gotta be a faster way than all that.
You think handouts are going to keep you alive? If everyone sits in the cart and no one pulls, would you just sit in the mud till you die?
Oh, come off it! We take what we're owed! It's that easy! Besides, you were the one saying we'd steal it back from the rich!
As coisas agora são diferentes.
Katharina has come a long way.
Yeah, I did say that, but I wasn't right. And for that, I'm sorry. Something stolen is just going to keep getting stole. You'll start to fear and resent your neighbour. It's an endless cycle of misfortune. How can anyone take pride in living off someone else's work stolen by force? I couldn't. No, we can't steal our way to a good life. We got to shape our reality with our own two hands. We welcome anyone who wants to be their own change. Here, together, we write our own futures.
Do you think it's possible that I could be a leather worker?
And I want to try making clothes. I mend all my family's garb, and I'm pretty good at it.
I love teaching kids. If I dedicate myself to study, might I be a teacher as well?
What's got into all your heads? All this bloody talk about change. Too late for me, I say.
Not by half. So tell me, what do you want to do? We can work on this together.
Always thought it'd be nice to see the ocean. Thought that since I was a kid.
Then learn how to do calculations. If you can do that, I can introduce you to a merchant in Brylehaven.
This is really taking off. It's going to take me a while to get through all these people. I know the Parapus haven't had the best lot in life, but I'm feeling more optimistic about our chances these days. Because, I mean, you're going to be a king soon, yeah? Things will really start looking up for us then.
Tem que fazer jus às suas expectativas.
I'll do my best to live up to your expectations.
Good, because I'll be holding my breath. But I won't be sitting on my hands either. Not that we'll rely too much on you. It's going to have to be a team effort. Though, I guess in an ideal world, we wouldn't need kings. One king can't make the world a better place. It takes everyone to pull that off.
Talvez você tenha razão.
You're right about that.
I am, mate. A person who puts their mind to it can change their own world. That much I know. Our paths may be different, but I'll be fighting the good fight with you. And when the going gets tough, or when you feel all alone, you remember me. Because we're fighting together, king or not. No matter what lies ahead for you, we're comrades in arms.
Posso sentir esperança de Katharina com o futuro, bem como a confiança inabalável em mim como um companheiro. Pô, eu achava que ela ia entrar na party com a gente, mano.
Katharina, keeper and heritor of the brawler's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of her newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Eu jurava que ela ia entrar na party com a gente.
My dreams may seem impossible.
O grupo agora pode dar artista marcial. Ok.
Katharina! Who's here? They've delivered some for us. You lot better save some for me. Wait, come and have a meal with us. Consider it an early coronation ceremony.
Aproveitei uma humilde banquete com a Katharina e os outros. Graças ao vínculo indestrutível que tenho com a Katharina, agora eu tenho o apoio dos páripos. Tá vendo? Assim que cria esperança pros outros, entendeu? A gente cria expectativa e atende o que eles querem e é isso. O Bardon deixou mais... O Bardon agora tá deixando mais item pra gente, né? O Bardon tá que tá, hein? É algo que ainda falta concluir por aqui é resolver o lugar, que amanhã temos que ir embora. Está na hora de acertar, partamos sem pendências, que é o que o príncipe gostaria de ver. Achei mesmo que você fosse dizer que para aproveitarmos o restaurante montário enquanto for possível. Mas acho que não é sempre que você pensa mais com a barriga. É isso. Última chance de preparar tudo. Tá, beleza. Último dia de preparar tudo. A gente vai entregar aqui a missão. O tentador daquele bostinha do Milo tá na cidade de novo. Posso considerar isso um sinal de sua vitória? Pode sim. Bem feito pra ele. Queria muito deixar ele com um olho roxo de lembrança, mas o desgraçado não vai descer trotador. Deve estar se sentindo humilhado pela derrota. Tudo bem. Tudo bem, que fique lá encolhido em posição fetal pelo resto da vida. Ufa. Mas sabe, que bom que as coisas acabaram assim. Teria sido péssimo se um de nós morresse sem aquele canalha receber o que merecia. Sinceramente, eu não dava a mínima pro governo ou nada assim. O pessoal que me apoiava pensava do mesmo jeito. Quem quer que vire rei não vai mudar sua tribo ou o status dela. Nenhum de nós tinha expectativas reais pro reino. E foi por isso que um idiota como eu conseguiu ficar tão famoso. Tô quase com vergonha, pensando nisso agora. Mas as coisas mudaram depois de conhecer você. A gente tava tudo desesperado, mas você abriu nossos olhos. Aqui, um símbolo da minha gratidão sincera. Pode aceitar. Beleza. Olha, estamos cheio da grana. Enfim. Tô de bom humor. Então, de repente, vou esbanjar com bebida na taverna. Era o que eu faria se não tivesse decidido largar o álcool por um tempo. Qual que é a diferença de taverna e taberna? Queria saber. Porque tem lugar que eles colocam taverna e tem lugar que eles colocam taberna. Ótima ideia. Enfim, caso encerrado então. O Loveless mudou de ideia afinal. Quanto ao Milo, bem, acho que vai ficar na dele por enquanto. Ele ficou bem abalado pelo que a Ufa disse. Beleza, vou meter o save. E falando em taverna. Vão na taberna medieval, não é publi, não pagam pra nada pra isso, mas lugarzinho gostoso de ir, viu? Hamburgão lá, da hora. Então, focando aqui, 22, né? Entregamos a missão. E temos que passar um tempo com Basílio. Fazendo, o Luiz tá esperando, a gente precisa, tá? Não, mas antes, deixa eu fazer um negócio. Agora não é uma boa hora. Pera aí. Eu tô com uma grana, né? E eu tô querendo trocar por meu... Para o Animago. Aí o que eu vou fazer? Vamos na loja. Cadê a loja? Pra baixo. Loja de arma. Vamos ver se tem alguma espadinha boa aqui. Esse daqui já é melhor. Tem nada. Tem coisa pra vender? Ótimo. Aqui tem alguma coisa? Não. Força e magia. Vou botar no Basílio. Ou na Elfa. Não, vou botar no Basílio. Opa. Acho que é isso. Então vamos lá falar com o Basílio. Deixa eu fazer uma coisa aqui também. E Huckenberg. Eu tô sentindo falta de um fogo. Ela não tem outra magia de fogo que seja tipo mais pá. Então, corte, revidar. Não, aqui são passivas. Quero magia. Ela não tem aqueles dano, aqueles feitiços tipo do Stroll, tá ligado? Mas a gente pode resolver isso, não é mesmo? Estranho, ela deveria ter, né? Não, não deveria não. Ué. Da onde vem essas magias do Stroll aqui, então? Ah, daqui. Tá, então pera aí. O Kenberg aprende o comandante. Eu vou pegar, tipo, esse pancada flamejante, essas paradas eu vou pegar e botar nela também. Eu acho que é uma boa. Não precisa nem equipar.
To greater heights. I've acquired a new power. A new means of protection. To greater heights.
Vou dar no nível máximo aqui, né?
I've acquired a new power.
Aí. Aí a gente vem aqui. O Kenberg. Aí eu vou tirar esse arte de escudo por causa daqui. Aqui, ó. Pancada flamejante. Porque ó, é dano físico. Médio. Opa. Ataque. É dano físico médio de fogo. Que pode infligir queimadura. Aqui é dano mágico. Aí eu boto dano físico, porque, né? Seria interessante também, então. Deixa eu ver. Eu vou botar o de gelo também. No lugar do Blizzard, tá ligado?
I'm counting on.
Pode fazer sentido isso que eu tô pensando, certo? Certo. Aqui. General.
A new means of protection. I've acquired a new power. A new means of protection.
Tá no máximo.
I've acquired a new power.
Ih, será que vai dar pra pegar o 20? Beleza. Pô, cara. É, esses últimos vídeos eu tenho feito bastante mudança de habilidade, né? Cada dano mágico forte de gelo. Não, causa dano mágico forte de gelo ao inimigo. Dano físico.
Alright.
Aí. Beleza. O Stroll eu não vou mexer muito, vou deixar do jeito que tá, né? Também com danos elementais aí de pancada. Eu não tenho esses ataques, infelizmente. Mas apesar que eu uso só magia mesmo, né? Lisa, Candeira, Amon. Flama. Tá, beleza. Acho que é isso. Com Heisme, a gente não tem muito o que mexer, infelizmente. Assassinar. Causa dano físico forte de trevas ao inimigo. Pode aplicar... Mano, vamos botar o assassinar nele. Porque ele tem uma habilidade de dano também, né? Aumenta a invasão. Pode infligir maldição em todos os inimigos. Não, vamos com assassinar mesmo. Testar, né? Onde é que a gente tava aqui agora? Na tarde. Falar com Basílio, né?
Yo,
Hey.
Thanks.
Obrigado. Vamos usar a magia de teletransporte pra ir pra Burghaven.
Aí.
Certo, estamos aqui pra ajudar. O que foi? Sua cara não tá muito boa, amigo.
No?
Eu tô com a mesma aparência de sempre. Vamos aos detalhes do trabalho, hein? Você conhece o clube obscuro chamado Vaga Noite? Tem uns sujeitos usando o lugar para vender e comprar ignitores por baixo dos panos. Quem tá por trás disso é um comerciante abastado, que adora beber. Ele fez uma fortuna vendendo ignitores no mercado clandestino. Então, no momento em que ele estiver saindo da loja, satisfeito com o seu último negócio, eu chego por trás e quebro o pescoço dele. Falei que era ele. Vai atacar o pescoço, é? Espera. Não, espera. Você vai matar ele mesmo? Que diabo você tá pensando? O que eu tô pensando? Você sabe tão bem quanto eu. Não sabe, Basílio? Alguém tem que matar pessoas como ele. E no momento, esse alguém sou eu.
No way.
Ei, não me diga que todos os assassinatos que estão cometendo por aí não resolveram. Bem, a história é simples. Na verdade, eu matei todos eles.
You having a laugh?
Vinca, por que você... Depois que vocês fugiram, os experimentos só pioraram. Disseram que não podiam correr riscos e tinham que acabar com a nossa disposição para fugir. Amigos morrendo todo dia após dia, dor sem fim, hora após hora. E ainda nos diziam que deveríamos ser gratos. Diziam, pelo menos vocês podem ser úteis para alguma coisa. Eu também fui jogado no abismo como se fosse um cadáver. Bem, eu consegui sobreviver. E um poder cresceu dentro de mim. O poder de sair por aí matando aqueles que estão enriquecendo com a venda dos ignitores. Uma revelação entanto, não? Achei que você, mais do que ninguém, entenderia, Basílio. Estou tentando fazer o mundo um lugar melhor. Isso é... Tem razão em odiá-los, amigo, mas... O que você quer fazer? Não posso fazer parte disso. Seu filho da... Você foi o primeiro de nós a sair. E olha só pra você, vestido pra maldita alta sociedade. De onde você veio, hein? Cadê sua família? Se o Fidel estivesse vivo, eu sei que ele...
Vinca!
Ei, Vinca. Fique longe de mim. Eu nunca mais quero ver a sua cara. Você não é minha família. Você não é nada pra mim. Que isso? Fala isso não, mano. Vou tomar uma aguinha. Tem que molhar a garganta, senão começa a doer. O que você quer que eu faça? Entendo seus sentimentos, juro. Chega a doer em mim, mas matar é errado. Droga. Não tô entendendo mais nada. Se o Deus estivesse aqui, ele poderia me dizer o que fazer. Fidel não está aqui. Eu sei disso. Mas a gente teria morrido lá dentro. Dia após dia, aquela dor insuportável. Não tinha um único dia em que eu não pensava em matar os malditos por trás dos ignitores.
Não.
Mas ainda assim, não posso sair pela cidade matando quem o bem entender. Isso é errado, não é? O que eu faço? O Vinca não vai desistir, eu sei. Ei, o que você faria? Não, esquece. Você não é o Del. Não posso te perguntar o que fazer. Mas quando eu tiver minha própria resposta pro Vinca, você vai estar lá do meu lado, né? Quando chegar a hora, espero contar com você. Aí, grau 5. Me dá um tempo a pensar, tá? Vamos embora por hoje. Beleza. Agora vamos passar o tempo com Alonso e pegar o rank máximo com ele. Você é o Ambud, certo? Faz tempo que procuro você. Você? Deixa eu te contar a verdade. O verdadeiro significado por trás do plano do Alonso. A verdade nua e crua. Alonso disse que estava apostando em você. E eu também. No novo mundo que você tem a intenção de criar. Vou te contar. Lembra da taberna que ele costumava frequentar? Onde ele obteve as informações sobre mim? Vamos conversar lá. Ele me disse, se você for contar a verdade, para ele faça isso lá. Se me permitir me apresentar de novo.
My name is Dutteran. I'd like to thank you for your assistance.
Ajuda?
What assistance?
Right then, where shall I begin? The execution was proposed by Alonso himself. He agreed to bear the weight of my crimes and die with them. That is,
under one condition. He had me declare my support for your candidacy by naming you as the key figure who put an end to the people's suffering. And in doing so, Alonso would accomplish his goal, to bring you great renown.
Por quê?
Why would he go through with that?
Perhaps it was meant to be a form of atonement. By giving you recognition and building your reputation, he could pave you a path to the crown. He truly believed that you could change the world. Alonso entrusted me with this letter, or rather, with his last words.
I wager you must be furious with me. I'm sorry I didn't let you in on the plan. I knew you would be against it. Believe it or not, I considered myself a just person. My cons were always in the service of a greater good.
Caralho, então
I
ele morreu
convinced
mesmo.
myself that it was all for my hometown, for my mother. But that pretense crumbled away, along with her life. I realized everything I'd done was out of my own selfish desires. Such a man ought to die. So, I found a way to make a worthy end of it. Come to think of it, death, too, is perhaps its own selfish escape. When you stopped me, I could finally confront that about myself. The truth of the matter is, I like lying. I like tricking people. Perhaps I never needed to be a good person. On the day of my execution, you'll be lauded as a hero, and everyone in attendance will be none the wiser about my deception. Yes, before long you'll ascend to the throne, and the world will become a slightly better place. All thanks to my lies. I've done far too much wrong in my life. But in my final moments, I will become the kind of person I've always aspired to be. I owe it all to you. Even though I know this wasn't the conclusion you wished for, you have my gratitude.
Posso sentir a confiança e carinho sincero nas palavras diretas de agradecimento do Alonso.
The devious schemer, Alonso, keeper and heritor of the Faker's virtues. Your tempered bond has
Faker?
become
Ela disse
a
Faker?
fire-forged trust.
Jogador de LoL?
Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of his newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Remember your promise.
O grupo agora, a partir da classe vigarista, adiciona mais um espaço. Vou tentar colocar no Hindman esse vigarista. Vamos ver o tipo de habilidades que tem, né?
Are you all right?
Não tô bem, não.
No. I'm distressed.
I'm sure you must be. But Alonso believed you could bring about a better future. You there! Bring him what we've discussed. This is Alonso's fortune. Though half of it was pinched from my coffers. Still, the fact that he managed to steal all this is quite impressive.
O que pretende fazer?
What are you planning to do with it?
Rest assured, I won't be taking it with me. Not after all that's happened. Alonso intended to give this money to his village, but he was terribly distraught when they wouldn't accept it. However, if you, the hero, were to give them the money, that'd be a different matter. Might you donate his fortune in your name?
Deixa comigo.
All right. I'll do it.
Thank you. He'll rest easier, knowing it was you. I'll make arrangements for a coachman to transport this to the village. Until then, his property shall be in my care. Come speak with me once you've arrived. I ask this of you in his stead.
This one's important.
Daturon me encarregou de levar a herança do Alonso para a cidade natal. Quero falar com Daturon na praça da estalagem do pescador em Barrhaven à noite, quando ele estiver lá. Ok. E agora, seguiremos com a história. Iremos enfrentar Louis. Já estamos preparados. Amanhã é o grande dia. Vamos enfrentar o Louis. E agora ele vai estar de prontidão para lutar contra você. Capitão, tem uma ressalva quanto ao que faremos? Pode ser impertinente da minha parte, mas por acaso não tem ressalvas no fundo da sua consciência? Quer dizer, caso você elimine um homem que não é um inimigo direto, ainda terá condições morais de se chamar de príncipe idôneo? Para falar a verdade, só indaguei você porque acho que é turista deixar algo assim se tornar um obstáculo. Por acaso Louis tentou provar que é inocente nos últimos meses? Muito pelo contrário. Ele foi tão longe a ponto de matar o rei e uma pessoa que se estimava. Não é surpresa que haja quem o queira morto. Ele compreende a situação e mesmo assim escolheu um caminho e uma doutrina que diz que o poder é tudo. Se for o caso, como candidato ao trono, o que você deveria deliberar é se tal ideologia de poder é realmente algo que o país precisa, não acha? Você já está em segundo lugar. Inúmeras pessoas do reino te apoiam no momento. Não se esqueça. Ismay é uma boa pessoa. Ele tem razão. E queremos recuperar o país. Você não pode deixar nada te impedir agora. Tudo que a gente fez foi para que esse dia chegasse. Só nos resta enfrentar o Louis, pela Hela, pelo Grios e por todos que perdemos. Chegou a hora. É assim que se fala. Todo o sofrimento que a gente passou será sua força no fim de tudo. Não quero um rei que acha que pode mandar em tudo. Nada mais justo que seja... Meu Deus, nada mais justo que você seja um candidato também. E agora que você se declarou um príncipe, acho que não tem mais o luxo de perder de frente do público. Parece que o Neuras quer usar o Trotador Celeste para fazer uma espécie de entrada triunfal no Grand Thread. Apesar de tudo que está acontecendo, essa é a maior prioridade dele. Fiz um cortezinho aqui. Onde que tava? Apesar de tudo que tá acontecendo, essa é a maior prioridade dele. Talvez seja exatamente o que a gente precisa para que tudo funcione. Bom, é melhor a gente dormir bem essa noite para estar pronto amanhã. Sedentarismo é foda, mano. Subir a escada, tô cansado.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Fala que vai ter voz aí falando. Não tem. Então vamos partir para a capital real e é a maior batalha das nossas vidas. Estou meio decepcionada porque estava me acostumando ao frio. Eu posso dizer o mesmo. Fizemos tudo o que foi possível aqui. Vamos partir de cabeça erguida, certo? O Neuras parecia realmente emocionado com esse negócio de chegar voando em vez de usar a magia de teletransporte. Daqui só leva um dia pra chegar lá. A gente vai a gente vai fazer os tradenses se tremerem. Vamos pro tutador assim que a gente terminar de comer. Enche a barriga aí que vai ser uma batalha difícil.
At last, only a day remains.
Whatever Luis throws at us, this is where we end it.
Between him and the criers, he's certainly made a production of this. You don't suppose it's a trap?
Nah, he just loves a battle that'll make history. That's the bastard through and through.
Indeed. The man's in first place right now. Not much he stands to gain from subterfuge. But I'll admit, I have my own suspicions.
What? Losing your nerve, old fella? Me? I'm ready to lay the bastard out. I owe him at least one solid whack in the face from Ardell.
You can start with one for Dell. Give him 100 for yourself. If he becomes king, the kingdom is finished. Maybe even destroyed from the sounds of it. Rella said as much too.
About the country being overrun with hordes of humans. That might be his real aim. Though I can't for the life of me think why Luis would want that. I thought he'd made his name as this grand human slayer.
At the very least, we know that Luis will not wield the king's magic to save this land.
We have our own future we're dreaming of. For Maria and Fabienne. For Grius and Brella. We've got to win this. For everyone's sakes.
You would pursue peril.
Beleza, bora.
Great.
The stage is set for the decisive battle to take place
É,
in
o que
grand
levaria, será tipo uns 4, 5 dias até mais pra chegar. Dia voando.
Return within the hush of teleportation magic as a mere wanderer, but with the fanfare required of one who would claim to be prince. He is a boy no more. He stands now on equal footing with Luis, and his triumphant descent over the capital will finally make that known, whether or not his gambit is only a means to an end.
Ó.
He's here.
Sai da frente que eu tô chegando.
Welcome back!
Your Highness!
It's His Royal Highness the Prince. We've been waiting for you. Go and teach that damn Luis a lesson.
Finally! This is better than any of the fables. I'm putting all my money on Luis to win.
Sounds like they're more excited about the spectacle than about the prince being alive. Still, suppose it makes sense.
But by the faces in the sky and upon the rock, we are squarely set in second place. Even with the gap between us and Luis, the prince has faithful supporters.
Though 'tis not truly His Highness's face wrought in stone, but our captain's. After all this time, I cannot help but feel conflicted.
Luis spares nothing for an old woman like me. Saint Rella spoke truth. We need the help of His Royal Highness the Prince.
He's the boy with a saint's blessing. He's got to be genuine. If the Sanctus Church's power is waning, should I take His Highness's side over Luis?
Even after her confession, they still keep her words close. I suppose no amount of past sins could make them forget her genuine kindness. Seems strange to say, but we owe her a great deal. Without her, the people would never have calmed, much less placed their trust in us. We can't let them down.
But looking around the city, some of the fervor seems beyond reason.
Your Highness, you can't stop at Luis. You've got to kill all the idiots who believe in him. They're not right in the head.
That right? You're the ones who aren't right in the head. It's because of stiff old cowards like you that this country's been spinning its wheels. Not ever getting better.
Then why hasn't Luis shown up yet, eh? Sounds like he's your coward, after he arranged all this too.
True enough. If he doesn't even show up after all this fuss he's made, everyone would feel like fools.
Probably going for another big, grandstanding entrance up at the royal funeral.
Don't care what he's planning. Either way, he's dead meat.
Save your fury for the fight ahead. But still.
Over there! His Royal Highness the Prince has arrived.
Wow, and Lady Juna as well!
I say, nothing wrong with an adoring public, but this is getting more claustrophobic than the engine room. We don't want to get stuck. I'm popping back in the room.
Let's head to the Hushed Honeybee Inn for now. I'm sure Maria will be happy to see us back.
Ah, é 23 ainda, né? O negócio é só dia 24.
All the customers say they're on your side. I was surprised at how popular you are.
Obrigado pela ajuda, Maria.
Thanks for helping, Maria. We couldn't have done it without you.
I tried my very, very best.
I never thought Luis would be the one throwing down the gauntlet to you. If he'd survived, I'm sure he'd say the same. You'd better get some rest tonight. Come on, Maria. It's time you went to bed.
I wish we could stay up and talk more. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be cheering for you.
It's finally happening.
You've got to win this. For Grease's sake, too. Victory is in our grasp. We once thought it impossible to save His Highness the Prince, after all, and he now lives.
But without the king's wards, we'll be fighting on even ground. He won't make this easy on us.
The king's magic lived up to the legends. Capable of shaking the world itself. Every man, woman, and child has been at its whims for months.
Not the kind of power any of us want in Luis's hands.
But will this fight truly settle everything? By the spell's own rules, the throne will go to whoever wins the most support. Even after this battle, the crown's fate isn't set. We saw how the people's hearts have been whipped to dangerous passions. When the dust settles...
Whatever they make of it, we've come this far. All we can do now is finish our fight and strike to kill. Any less, and Luis will cut us down.
Indeed. Let us now devote ourselves to victory, and then worry of what comes after. We must believe in all we've yet accomplished.
This should be our last battle against Luis. I'm just trying to stay hopeful. Knowing how far we've come. Now you've awoken your archetype. Forged friendships. And taken so many burdens on your shoulders. You've really risen to this fight.
É verdade.
You're right there.
But it takes me back. If the prince could see you now, he'd be pretty proud of you. Don't you think? I mean, you and he were best friends. Best friends. Wait, what?
Yo.
What's the matter?
Oh, sorry. I felt like I'd misspoke for a second or something. Don't mind me. Anyway, we'll make sure this is the end for Luis. Gotta report our victory to His Highness personally, right?
Posso sentir a grande determinação de Gálica. Rank 7 aí já.
It's like I'm seeing the prince smile again.
Mais um espaço na árvore do mago. Pô, quero aprender os outros tipos de mago, velho.
Let's get some rest. We'll need it come tomorrow.
It's been a while.
Mas faz um século que não vem aqui. Prepara pra amanhã e descansa. Meteu os saves. Beleza, deixa eu só ver um negócio aqui de novo. De novo. Tá pensando, né? Eu não tenho esse, né? E ataque de fogo meu já tá forte, mas o de gelo eu posso melhorar, né? Ah, não, acho que eu não vou conseguir o suficiente.
I'm counting on you.
Of course.
Eu acho que eu não vou conseguir upar o suficiente aqui.
Good. I'm still getting stronger.
É físico, precisava desse. Dano mágico. É que eu acho que eu não vou ter item pra upar o suficiente. É. Que pena, velho.
New skills, new possibilities. Good. I'm still getting stronger.
Vamos botar, né? Fazer o quê? Acho que vai ser melhor que eu com esse Blizz aí que tá. Beleza, bora descansar.
Good night.
At long last, my lord, our investigations have borne fruit. We know where the true prince lies. Those loyalists who disappeared with the prince led us right to him. We found traces of their coming and going.
Where was he hiding?
far to the west of the royal capital, deep within a forest said to bewitch those who should wander in. An old village, erased from today's maps. That said, against all odds, it seems that this place is...
The lost village of the Elda. Last trampled by Forden's troops, sent to burn it to the ground.
You knew then?
I see now. To hide in a place publicly declared as destroyed. Quite a gamble. The prince was born there, you know. An illegitimate son, after the past king's heart was drawn to a woman of the village in his youthful years of debauchery.
What? Then the prince really does bear elder blood.
Forden did not raise the village for any defiance of his scriptures. He thought only to eliminate an inconvenient heir, a threat to his power, before his birth was known. The prince's survival, his complete disappearance, this was the missing piece. Zorba, go and snuff them out for good.
Sir, consider them annihilated. I've been hoping for an opportunity to test this newfound power.
Now, the battle at the royal capital looms. I must begin my own preparations. If you call yourself the prince, then I will give you a prince's end. And I have just the spell to do it.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Good morning. Did you sleep well? Ready to face the day?
É claro.
Yes, of course.
No hesitation at all. You've really grown out there.
But you have to come back, no matter what, okay?
I confess my mind strays back to the royal funeral. Yet we are more than we ever were then. Now we have the power to see this through.
Let's get out there, thrash him, and come back here to celebrate.
Never thought we'd find ourselves back at the Grand Cathedral for the final showdown. Let's pull ourselves together. Ready our supplies. Give him hell.
Let's head there.
Luiz tá esperando a grande catedral. É melhor eu ir. Esse você tem tudo que precisa. Tá aqui. Plaza.
Alright then.
Onde é esse lugar que tá marcado aqui? Pequena Vamos andando, vai. Passar um tempo andando com a espada, tá ligado?
Alright then.
Vem por aqui. Aqui fala que é tem que pegar um besouro dourado. É depois de uma pequena cutscene. Depois de uma cutscene na área com fonte. Onde me lembro que tem uma fonte. É. Espero que seja o que eu tô pensando mesmo.
Ready?
Sempre pronto. Acho que eu tenho que fazer a luta primeiro.
Well, bit of a tricky situation. Can't exactly say I'm the tournament's official crier anymore, things being what they are. I mean, Sanctifex Forden and St. Rella are gone. Bluntly speaking, there is no tournament anymore. but like hell, if that's gonna stop me, as a lone citizen watching over the future of our country, you can look to me for the latest news on this upcoming fight.
Woo! Live free, Crier! Fight the power!
Very good. Let's begin, shall we? The Day of Judgment is here. The final fight between Luis, military paragon and one-man army, and the boy who claims to be the fallen prince. The entire continent's eyes are on this battle, folks, and only one of them's walking away. Let's see a show of true strength, worthy of our new king.
Your Highness, you can win! Give Luis the boot!
Count Luis! Kill that imposter!
It looks to me like Luis hasn't even bothered to show at the royal capital.
Well, there's no way he'd run away from this. Any time now. Any time. Whoa, over there! It's Luis's gauntlet runner! And so the leading candidate
Eu tô achando que eu passei já pelo besouro, hein? Hoje eu tinha pego, não sei.
Luis.
The two titans of this race have finally come face to face. Let's introduce our candidates once again for this final bout. Our first candidate, Count Luis. Adopted son of a minor nobleman, he rose to fame on his incredible military merits, quelling domestic conflicts and almost becoming our nation's youngest general. Suspected of attacking His Highness, he was denounced and cast down, but his name has since been cleared, and now here he stands, closest to the throne. Then we have the Elden candidate, he who claims to be none other than His Highness, the Prince. Though his identity is uncertain, his strength is undeniable. Through his campaign, we've seen his team flourish, counting even the songstress Juna among them. The time has come to demonstrate his power. Will it be enough for this youth to take the throne?
I have to commend you. A lesser man would have run. This all began with the king's failings. He was an unworthy ruler, and his incompetence bred the chaos that followed. You, who claim to be the prince, what do you believe the people seek in their king?
The intellect to resolve everything.
Pessoas podem acusar a ideia de ser uma ideia fantasiosa, mas deve haver algo a ser feito antes de recorrer à força.
Can intellect alone protect the people? In the end, words are nothing against power. Now let me ask you, my gathered people, what is it that makes a king?
Power! My Lord Luis, kill him now! Only the strong can rule!
Your Highness, show us your power!
Young candidate, have you or your party any final speeches before the duel?
We have only one thing to say. Wake up! Luis's fair world is barbaric. A land where the strong prey on the weak. He promises protection, but he is the very man who would see you slain. Hear this! Luis ordered my home destroyed by a human. Are we a land of animals? Or are we a nation united in the protection of the weak, in raising up our neighbors?
He's the type of man who will kill anyone who gets in his way. If you crown him king, I know the country will burn. Rella said as much.
People, do not let your hearts falter. I desire but one thing, a world without inequality. And I shall gladly offer my shield to all of those who follow this ideal. Those who do not, however, will be slain without mercy or regret. It could not be simpler.
If your equality means you will sacrifice the people who need help most, then I deny your world!
So, you think you have the strength to protect the weak? Then prove to me these are more than empty words.
Povinho.
Come then, and act your part in this showdown. I have a new world to build, and you will die in its name.
The time has come.
I'll use what I must.
Vamos lá, defesa baixa.
Let's set it up.
Causa dano físico grave de pancada ao inimigo. Dano físico grave de onipotência a um inimigo, absorve PM. Dano mágico extremo de onipotência a todos os inimigos, recupera PM a cada golpe acertado. Tá, fazer o seguinte. Pô, mano, só 3 turnos é sacanagem. Ah, foda-se, vou meter essa daqui pra provação. Essa magia, vai.
The magic seeds.
I can't afford to hold back. Samurai!
Mete a porradona,
Hack
vai.
and slash! I will annihilate you! Can you endure it?
Afinidade.
I strike to kill!
Ele tá com trevas. Boa, desviou. Acho que ele tá com trevas ali.
You think all power of kings?
Deixa eu ver se assassinar.
We settle this here.
Não, não é.
Good. Very good. Yours is a worthy power. One untainted by petty
Sei que era
tactics
trevas
or
porque a
cheap
espada
tricks.
ficou
However,
roxa.
magnificent. You truly have become more powerful. But I would expect no less of a remnant of humankind. You're a survivor of a lost tribe, aren't you?
Humankind?
Because he's Elda, you would call him a monster!
You should know the truth by now. After all that time I allowed you to spend on that pagan island. History as told by the Sanctus Church is a fiction. No doubt you saw all the evidence of a truer history. One that told of ancient times where the land was ruled by a far different people.
You mean the legends according to the murals and ruins from the temple?
Yufa! Don't humor him!
But if that war between gods truly did come to pass...
Gods? How droll. They may have governed all things with works far beyond ours, but they were no gods. They were an ancient tribe unlike any other race now lost. Wielders of true magic. The modern age saw them called Elda, shunned from our cities. But in their time, they were known as humankind.
I thought humans were those mad monsters. What are you trying to say now?
Luis, dog. Your lies will soil His Highness's name no longer.
You believe it false? What would I stand to gain from lies?
Elda are actually humankind? Why wouldn't I know that?
Hear me! His appearance as a boy is mere trickery. In truth, he is humankind. He is kin to the feral monstrosities that roam this land, leaving carnage in their wake.
He doesn't know when to give up. No one would believe this madness.
No need to distress yourself.
E nada, todo mundo
I'll show
acreditaria.
you the proof. You, boy, who call yourself the prince. You will be the cornerstone upon which my utopia is built.
Utopia?
O que ele vai fazer?
What's happening?
What ails him?
Witness the truth, good people. You would know the identity of your would-be prince. Here he is!
It's a monster! It's a human! It's going.
Eita porra.
The truth of the humans is laid bare. They're no beasts, but another form of the Elder tribe. Cast aside their guise with magic, and they reveal their true colors. He is no royalty, no boy, but a ruthless fiend intent on your throne!
It's not true! It has to be one of the Count's illusions!
What illusion? That's no prince! It's a monster!
It'll kill us all! Run! What has become of him?
It must be Luis's wicked magic. Yet, the aura of Magla, it's exactly like a human's.
He's not!
He's a human.
Hey! Snap out of it! You have to stop this!
Caraca, que reviravolta é essa, mano? No final de tudo a gente é humano. Ajudar os necessitados será um conceito idealista demais para uma plataforma vencedora? Louis disse que era um truque. É por isso que até meu corpo.
Be not afraid, child. 'Tis not thy true self. 'Tis not thy true fate.
Quem é você? O que você sabe?
In this moment, thy mind is disturbed, twisted by the power of that man. The time has come. Thou must face the truth deepest within thee.
What's that about?
Verdade em meu âmago.
Remember again thy true self, the purpose of thy birth.
Propósito? Sim, é verdade. Eu aceitei a missão de salvar o príncipe.
An ideal world. Even if reality crushes everything I believe in, even if my ideals languish, I know I can trust you to see them through. It's always been that way. Whenever my life's been the hardest, you are always there to help me through it. After all, you're mine.
Wake up! Wake up! Hey!
Are you well?
Acho que sim.
Yeah, I think so.
You seem coherent at least. We saw you take on a terrible, monstrous form. We knew not what to do.
You had vast reserves of magic poured into you. It was eating away at your body and mind, but I've managed to suppress it. He may be back with us, but without rest, he will surely succumb to the spell. I don't know if he can withstand the same magic a second time.
I will not let you die.
It would appear the throne is now mine in every sense. None remain to oppose me. Your vengeance is at hand. Will you not finally slay the monster and avenge your people?
Shut up!
Unfortunately, the prince is finished either way. Both this imposter and the true prince at death's door, deep in the woods.
The true prince? You bastard! What have you done?
Bloody hell! Is that why he called us here? It was all just a bloody distraction!
Your part in this has ended. Go where you wish, but I advise you run fast if you would outpace your hunters.
Seize the monster! I don't care if you have to kill it!
Attention now. This looks dire. How could you deceive us?
I knew all along that filthy lowborn was hiding something. Monster!
We retreat to our gauntlet runner. We must find him safe haven to rest.
It won't be long until the entire kingdom hears of this mess. We've no safe haven left.
Gallica, we've only got one option now.
I'm worried about the prince too.
I know. We'll head to my home and the prince's refuge, the Elden Sanctum.
Deu ruim nossa candidatura, mano. O número de apoiadores de Humble começou a diminuir drasticamente.
Count Luis has saved the country. He has driven off the human who sought to usurp it.
Count Luis is our true savior.
Sounds like we've got our next king then.
Might as well fall in with him. He'll keep us safe from any humans at the very least.
They'll be all right, won't they?
That boy is no monster. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Luis! What the hell did he do? Stay safe out there, boy.
The flow of that evil Magla was surely born from Luis's magic. What a terrifying force.
I'll remember that
Eu acho que foi só uma ilusão do Luis.
But he hasn't got you beat yet, my friend. You can't tell me the fight's over.
Eita, pô. A Humble continua perdendo apoiadores. Como isso foi acontecer? Enfim, não temos tempo a perder. Vamos partir para o santuário Elda antigo. Não perde a esperança. A esperança foi-se.
It was more of a defeat than it was a departure. They board the gauntlet runner and rush from the capital, as though hiding from the shrieking animosity of the masses. What more can they endure? There is no light to be seen.
A hiding place for the Elder tribe. Wonders never cease.
Um local para a tribo Elda se esconder. Que mundo maravilhoso. Tá falando já. Não presta atenção.
The mirror hasn't shown me anything for a while. I can't even see the room now, let alone the prince.
No. Just after we'd finally resolved the curse, too. Luis's final words trouble me. We must hurry on.
At first glance, it is a simple forest, deep as any other. But the observant may sense that every tree in its formation is ancient and grand, bathed in mystical serenity. The name of this place is familiar only to the few who grasp the truth. The ancient Elden Sanctum.
Can you walk, lad?
Consigo.
That's a relief. Seems like the rest on the right here did him some good.
Poor chap's even got me worried. I'll shuffle along too.
Hey, I reacted poorly when you were turned into that thing. I apologize. My mind just went blank. For a moment, I doubted you. Forgive me. I should have recognized Luis's drivel for what it was.
São águas passadas.
It's behind us now.
Nothing will shake me like that again, I swear it. I will never turn from you. And here's hoping there can be no surprises worse than that.
But what a sea of trees. If we get lost in here, we're never getting out.
I can sense a special barrier in place. Meant to deliberately lead people astray, too. A perfect place to hide.
Gallica, how fares His Highness? Does the Farsight mirror yield any news?
No. I checked a bunch of times in the Gauntlet Runner. I'm not seeing anything. I'm worried.
Hurry and lead the way.
Right. Everyone stay close so we don't get separated. The village is this way.
Tô preocupada com o príncipe. A vida dele tá nas nossas mãos. Ele acredita em um mundo onde as pessoas podem criar seu próprio futuro, exatamente como você. Ele é o único que tem chance de tornar isso realidade. Então agora, onde é que estaria? Eu espero que seja aqui onde está o besouro dourado, porque senão fodeu.
Huh? This looks like... Who are you?
Foi onde a gente se conheceu.
The royal flower? A surprise to see them blooming here.
Something about this place. Yes. The flow of Magla is strong here. It is much like the altar of the dragon god. The Magla in the air seems to be concentrated here. What is this place?
Gallica, something the matter? Your mind seems elsewhere.
Oh, sorry. I've got this weird feeling that something really important happened here. Anyway, let's keep moving.
Que estranho, parece que alguma coisa bloqueando a memória dela.
So here you are at last.
Ah, não dá pra subir em cima da espada? Tudo destruído.
How odd. This place is clearly in ruins, but it doesn't look like natural decay.
It was burned to the ground. One day, a bunch of kingdom soldiers showed up out of the blue. Without so much as a reason. They made an inferno of the place.
But why? Why would His Majesty order such an atrocity?
Thinking back now, it may have been Forden who led the charge. I can't be certain. But if it was up to him, he would have done it just to purge the filthy Elda tribe.
Luis claimed that the Elden people were just another form of the humans. If he spoke true...
They're not. There's no way. Anyway, more than half of the villagers died in the fire. And those who survived were forced to hide in caves. That way everyone would think they were wiped out.
'Tis a shrewd ploy indeed, to hide in a place the enemy themselves saw destroyed. Yet, why did Alcis? No matter. His Highness is in this cave, correct?
Yes, over there. What?
Osh.
That...
He draws no breath. Likely a stab in the back. I doubt he even had time to shout.
I recognize him. He was the associate of the first operative I came in contact with. He was a lot more skilled than those Sanctist warrior monks. But now...
Gallica, the cave is just ahead, yes?
Yes. It's past the woods, over there.
Then we move.
Tem que chegar na caverna. Com essa mágoa que eu sinto, tô preocupada com o príncipe. Vamos logo para o esconderijo no andar de baixo. Tá, pera aí. Ah, aqui ó, tem um besouro. Será que era esse? Espero que seja esse o besouro que fala aqui no guia, mano. Porque senão fudeu. Uma fada. Acho que vão ficar alarmados se formos todos juntos. Por enquanto, vamos deixar quieto e prosseguir. É um homem eugnífero bem idoso. Parece que ele está dando os ritos finais de um cadáver.
Russell? You're safe!
Huh? My word. Is that you, Gallica?
You were His Highness's tutor.
Hmm? I know but one red-tressed knight. Are you the royal guard? The Lady Hulkenberg? By the heavens. Then...
She's been helping us. Everyone here is a trusted ally. They've all fought to save the prince.
Alas. Oh, what a tragedy. If this reunion had only been a moment sooner.
Russell, where is His Highness? What happened? Is His Highness safe?
A few days ago, those detestable cursed thorns finally faded. I cannot tell you how long I had waited to see them gone. It was truly a joy beyond words. It happened before we could fathom it. A lone stranger, a loathsome figure came striding in. His Highness had only just regained consciousness since the curse's lifting. Yet, to protect us, he threw himself upon the assassin's blade. We were horror-struck. His Highness lay pierced through the heart, and we saw him breathe his last.
Eita porra.
No, that can't be true.
The stranger was a master of magic. None could match him. Of the Resistance's numbers, only I remain.
Who was responsible for this?
I don't know who the murderer was, but he cried his patron's name aloud as he did the deed. For Count Luis. From the moment he appeared, I believe his sole purpose was to kill His Highness. As soon as the lifelight left the prince's eyes, the stranger left, with only a smile.
An innocent boy. Twice tormented in the clutches of assassins. All because of the family he was born into.
Luis, there really is no evil you won't stoop to.
Please, Russell. Where is the prince?
We've laid him in the prayer room for now, at the end of the cave. He rests just this way.
You're coming, aren't you, love?
Não acredito.
I still can't believe it.
I know. But we have to see for ourselves.
Ah, I'd heard a rumor that there was a boy candidate who claimed to be His Highness. So, that was you? 'Tis just as St. Rilla said. You're no scoundrel. Indeed, you risked life and livelihood to see His Highness restored. Strange. Something in you reminds me of His Highness.
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing. Well, I will go before you to the prayer room. Once you are ready, you are free to join me.
Porque do nada o pessoal tá falando dessa semelhança. Antes de ir até o príncipe, acho que eu vou ajudar Russell nos ritos finais deste cadáver. Tá ligado? Só agora eles estão nessa... Ah, realmente, isso é muito parecido. Pá, tem traços. Tá rolando.
No. I must bear witness myself. As his knight, I must.
Beleza, ajudamos. Agora vamos lá ver o corpo. Tenho que correr e achar o príncipe. O príncipe tá na sala de prece no andar de baixo. Não quero acreditar, mas temos que ver com os próprios olhos.
It's nearly time.
O momento se aproxima. Essa voz.
Long have I waited.
Venho aguardando.
You must hurry.
Tempo é vital.
The time has come.
Chegou a hora.
All was for this day.
Ah, como esperei por este dia.
There is still time.
Ainda há tempo. Precisa logo adiante. Estamos prontos, Sambod? Vamos. Era só isso, meu besouro. Mas ainda acho que eu perdi um, acho.
This way.
Se eu não conseguir todos aqui, na segunda gameplay que eu fazer, eu tento pegar.
No, Your Highness.
Why?
I didn't realize anyone still remained to weep over this child. Huh? Gallica! You've returned!
Milady Gruade. It's been a long time.
May I ask who this is?
She is the chiefess of this village. The Hermitess Gruade.
She was kind enough to shelter the entire organization when His Highness fled to these woods.
I can't believe he's gone. I'm just some parapus orphan from the slums. I was never supposed to outlive any prince. Was he killed here?
No. It all happened in the bunk room in the back. We moved him here to the altar once all was quiet. I don't know if you'd believe me, but I received a revelation. Should the prince die, his body should be kept safe and still here until the rightful day comes, even if the boy is but a bastard sired by that despicable man. He is still Her Majesty's son.
Despicable? What, you mean the king? Wait, who's Her Majesty?
Do you know nothing of the child's mother? The boy was not brought across borders to us. He was born here, in the ancient sanctum. His mother was our past chiefess, the queen of our Elda tribe. She was a flower amidst the forests, a woman of such beauty, grace, and kindness. She saved this child from the flames, and it cost her her life. Her death is on that man's hands. Like a piper, he wandered in and seduced the young queen with his idealistic tales. But he failed to protect his family and died powerless. The village was only set ablaze because the boy was in the way of the Sanctus Church's designs on the throne. And that insipid king could do nothing to stop them. But you see, this boy, His Highness the Prince, looks so much like Her Majesty. And so... You there, boy. Are you perhaps... No, it can't be.
Como assim? Quem seria eu?
Is something amiss, Milady Gruade? He is one of Gallica's allies. His loyalty stands with His Highness, and he has risked much in the prince's name.
Whoa! What's with the formal introduction? You were the one who gave us our orders in the first place.
Hurry.
Eu estou ouvindo a voz misteriosa de novo.
Hey, are you okay?
The time has come. Here thou camest to the end of thy journey. This secret place was home to thee. Now, remember thy path thus far. Walk thy life's road and see it anew. I have been waiting for thee to overcome thy trials. Long have I waited for thy return. Know this, his life is not yet ended.
Como assim?
What do you mean?
It all started on that ill-fated day when the usurper thought to extinguish his light. Before he fades away, recount all thou hast seen and felt. All thou hast gained in thy journey's course.
Agora observe o passado. Veja as estradas que percorri na jornada.
Gallica and thee sought to take the head of Luis, but thy efforts came to naught. So, ye moved instead to join a tournament to decide the land's king.
Em nome do príncipe.
In the prince's name.
Though thy plan was reckless, thou didst win the trust of the people by the support of peers and subjects alike. Thus, thou didst declare thyself the prince.
Foi tudo pela
It was
vitória.
all for victory.
After overcoming many obstacles, thou didst finally lift the prince's curse. yet by the cruel machinations of another, the young prince.
Não está mais conosco, já sem vida diante de mim. Não está mais conosco.
He's no longer with us.
Thy sole mission was to save the prince. Bereft of him, thou hast no further reason to live.
Então, é aqui que tu toca. Não é verdade.
That's not true.
If the prince is dead, wert thy efforts all for naught?
O ideal dele persiste, o ideal dele persiste.
His will lives on.
So thy resolve is yet unbroken. So be it. Thou hast earned the truth. He was consumed by the curse, and was taken by a deep, abiding slumber. Yet his soul remained alive, so from his earthly form, I extracted his soul, that he might travel the land in Odyssey. And thus his stilled sands began to flow once more. Thy journey hast taken thee far, and taught thee much. So now I ask thee, who art thou?
Apenas um viajante, sou amigo do príncipe. Sou amigo do
I'm the
príncipe.
prince's friend.
Is that truly thy role? Clear your mind and think, to name but a few. Thy parents, memories of thy youth? Hast thou any recollection of where and how thy youngest years were spent? Yes, thy memories begin the moment thou befriend the prince. Dost thou suspect the reason?
Não me lembro de nada. Não tenho passado, não me lembro de
I
nada.
just don't remember.
Then search thy mind. Thou knowest the truth in thy heart, surely. Thou hast nothing. Thou art a being of mine own creation. 'Twas Gallica alone who the resistance laid their hopes upon all those days past. Thy life had yet to begin.
Que doideira é essa?
All thou hadst, all that had been bestowed, was a memory. Thy mission to save the prince. Thy memories of youth in the prince's company, and the void enshrouding all else in thy past. All signs of thy conjured existence.
I have nothing?
Nay, the words of the prince in thy memory are unmistakably of his true heart. The memories gained on thy journey, the friendships made, the trust forged. These true things art thine own. All thy trials, all thy experiences wert to prepare thee for this day. To share the strength thou hast gained with thy other self.
Meu outro eu?
My other self?
É verdade que ganhei muitas amizades e confiança até agora. Mas de fato sou um ser que originalmente não tinha nada. As pessoas teriam acreditado em mim e ficado ao meu lado? O mesmo vale para o desejo de ajudar os necessitados. Como posso ter acreditado num ideal tão absurdo por tanto tempo?
Accept the truth, and thou wilt face an ordeal beyond any you have yet faced. If thy desire is instead for freedom, thou mayest still abandon thy mission and end it here.
Is that right?
Entendo, minha verdadeira identidade
So
é...
I bid thee answer my final question. Who art thou in truth?
Sou um príncipe.
I am the prince.
What is this? I feel a curious resonance. Could this be? But how? Impossible.
Hey, what's going on?
What awaits us now?
Hark, life is not yet lost. Thou wert born apart from the prince's flesh, born of his desire to change the world. In his stead didst thou travel the world. Thou didst support his heart, and became his living fantasy. That is thy true self. Thou art everything the prince sought to be, his ideal.
Caralho, a gente tipo o amigo imaginário dele, praticamente.
It all began with the novel in thy possession. Drawn by the divine relic, Magla coalesced into flesh, and flesh coalesced into form. The form of an elder, as I once was. The time hath come. Awaken, reborn anew. No more the prince's dream of utopia thou wouldst chase. Nay, but thine own.
Caralho, mano. Cara, então até antes do jogo começar a gente não existia, literalmente.
What is this?
What's happened? Thou hast done well to guide him this far.
This voice. I'm sure I've heard it before.
Thy mind should now be clearing. Remember now thy true charge. He was never a member of the Resistance. The mission, the departure, was thine alone. And thereafter didst thou encounter him.
Who are you? Wait, what am I saying?
In those long ago days, he had just been born into this land. Newborn in form, if not in appearance, the boy needed a guide. Thus, I decided his memories would be thine. Thou wouldst share past and purpose, a memory so crafted to suit thee. My journey to the capital would not be made alone, but alongside him.
No, that can't be. He was there when we got our orders.
I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes, you cannot fail.
No! But... I was alone?
By this choice, he might be saved. By these gentle, necessary lies, we could live to see this day, when our dearest wish is fulfilled. As he traveled alongside thee, he gained both strength and wisdom. It is only by thy efforts that my voice reached him. He has now been saved. And so the journey ends here. Thou hast fulfilled thy mission admirably.
What? Wait just a minute. What do you mean, it ends here?
From here on, thy path is thy own. Choose thy own future for thyself, and may the fates smile on thy journey.
Que doideira, mano.
How do we make sense of this?
Is it
really you? How do you feel?
Sinto bem.
I feel fine, I think.
There seems to be no doubt. He is still himself, but I also sense His Highness within him.
Everyone, I need to tell you something. The truth is,
So let me get this straight. You're saying it's not a matter of our captain and His Highness joining together, but that the former was this disembodied entity sprung from the latter?
Then that's why he had no memories? 'Cause he didn't even exist?
I see. Finally, I understand the strange feeling I had sensed upon our meeting. What shaped you, so to speak, was the prince's will itself, a part of his consciousness. Yes, the prince's very heart. He was his soul given flesh. Perhaps the form we knew was one shaped by material magla, much like how the dragon god manifests beyond the vessel Drakadios.
a mass of magla with a will. Forget the dragon god. He may as well have been a dragon himself. Small wonder he awakened to an archetype before anyone else. It was no great aptitude for magic. He himself was composed of pure magla.
The self, as a manifestation of one's desires. Similar to archetypes. I suppose this is the very essence of magic.
You mean to say that it was not merely pretense to claim the prince's name? He truly was His Highness all along?
If that's true, this is finally your reunion with your sworn liege. Seems like cause for rejoicing, eh? Lady Hulkenberg of the Royal Guard.
But I failed to protect His Highness.
No. I am sure the strength of your devotion had a hand in saving him.
While all and sundry believed the lad had shuffled off, you alone kept the faith, my lady. And in the end, that faith was rewarded.
Fate was changed.
Are you really His Royal Highness the Prince? Please, please forgive me, Your Highness. I failed you when you needed me most. And more, despite being a member of your Royal Guard, I did not recognize Your Highness at our meeting and showed you such insolence.
Não tomei como ofensa, sempre foi fiel. Declara sua sentença. Você sempre foi fiel.
Actually, you've been there for me this whole time.
He's right, you know. If we'd not met you, we'd certainly never have made it this far.
This time, I will protect you. Even should it cost me my very life. I swear to it.
Finally, we've done Grius proud. We've really done it.
By the way, what are we supposed to call you now? I mean, how would you prefer to be addressed, my lord?
Nossa relação segue a mesma.
You can just keep calling me Captain.
No, Your Highness! With all respect, I must object.
This is no time to be thick-headed, Miguel. He's the one who gets to decide what we bally call him, so we'll listen to him, eh? What?
You, sir, should be begging His Highness for forgiveness on bended knee. You mangled the royal runner to your own whimsy, you lout!
Well, that is, I mean, it was all dashed useful in the end, wasn't it? A bit of clemency, Your Highness.
So much for acting same as always.
Pô, então bora voltar pra capital e pegar o trono aí, velho.
It's beyond belief. Not just that a child who'd lain cold for years could come back to us, but through such extraordinary circumstances. After so long in the curse's thrall, he could not even open his eyes. He may as well have been a corpse. But all this time, he had been on his own journey. It was the boy's dearest wish. He spoke of a fantasy of traveling the world, meeting its people, seeing its truths. And without him even knowing, magic made it real. He is a child of Elden blood and Elden legacy. All these years he spent in the village, he has rested near the secret of true magic. Perhaps this is how it came to be.
His was a fantasy surpassing fantasy. It became more than a dream, but a self-possessed force acting of its own volition. And now, reunited, Prince and fantasy live anew.
A journey to discover and reclaim the self, in all senses. No wonder he set off the custom igniter in the Royal Gauntlet Runner. It was the Crown Prince himself.
Even having it all explained like this, it feels like nothing short of a miracle.
I can only guess that fate had a hand in it.
That's right. I remember. I heard a voice. Guide him, it said.
Por que isso tudo do nada?
What's this all of a sudden?
If you can't remember anything from before our journey, then we probably met after you'd only just... happened, right? I shouldn't have known you then. But for some reason, I was convinced that we'd always been together. I thought we both received the order to save the prince, too. Ever since the moment I heard that weird voice guiding me.
A voice? Lady Gruade mentioned a revelation. Hold on, are we still being mystic and metaphorical, or was there an actual guide involved?
I know someone was guiding me. I just don't know who.
So a disembodied voice. Hang on. Come to think of it, that sounds a bit familiar for me too.
Hey, who do you think the voice belongs to? Any idea?
É familiar.
I have a faint idea.
É a mãe dele,
but
provavelmente.
I'm not entirely sure.
Come to think of it, this place, the light coming in, they seem familiar.
I might say the same. When I first acquired this power, I had a vision of somewhere not unlike these grounds.
Does this mean that we've been guided as well?
Perhaps someone has been at your side unseen, watching over the course of your journey. I imagine all this comes as a great shock for you as well. But here you are, back in your rightful place. You have come to the end of your arduous journey and found new life. It is a life well won, grasped with your own two hands.
Chiefess Gruade, we want to know everything. What is the truth behind your tribe, the Elda? We Mustari are also said to have inherited truths of the world before us. Histories hushed by sanctism. But this village, it is something altogether different. I myself feel a strange familiarity here. A lost haven underground, yet letting of the sky's light. Please, tell us, what is the Elder tribe?
To know what we are, you must first know our history. Come to the altar room past the door. I'll wait for you there.
Então, agora a gente vai saber também o que é a tribo.
Now what am I to do?
Tem pra vender. Ambrósia. Armas. Essa espadinha é melhor que a que eu tenho. Vai tá caro, hein? Eu tenho um báculo pra trocar pelo que ela tem, né? Eu roubei de algum bicho. Pô, o ruim é que é tipo tudo item normal, tá ligado? Sei lá, trocar, né? Deixa eu ver o que eu falei, ó. Vou quebrar um pouquinho a imersão aqui, né? Mas beleza. Aqui, ó. Vou meter até um save aqui. $53 já. Eu não sei se contabilizou um tempo que eu fiquei fora. Tá ligado que eu pausei o jogo. Aí eu não sei se tá contando esse tempo também. Vou falar com ela.
Does this depict the Elda tribe?
Elda comes from an ancient word, meaning only the old ones. It was an alias given by our ancestors to outsiders who visited the village in the distant past. As for our original name, you know it well by now. We were humans.
The human tribe. So Luis's words...
There is no human tribe. Tribes, as we know them today, did not exist then. We were all one people. Humankind.
A world united. But wait. The ruins on Virga Island. There's nothing left of the civilization today. Was it destroyed? Why? How?
A war. One that all but destroyed the world past. But its destruction was born of the discovery of Magla. Or as you call it today, magic. Do you wonder what they battled over? Without the divided tribes, what could they have disagreed on? They were racked by division. Over the abstract, undefinable idea of rightness. They tried to destroy something invisible, and destroyed only themselves. And any idea of absolute rightness is born of fear. That fear flooded the world, and gave way to war. And their age of prosperity came to be called the world before. The people we now call tribes were either born of artificial division for the sake of the war effort, or natural adaptation to survive the hellscape after.
A humanidade foi dilacerada pelo medo e ansiedade, criando as tribos em seu estado atual. É interessante então, porque tipo, realmente teve isso. Aí teve as tribos, né? E teve, vamos dizer, mutações, alterações, né? Porque tipo, agora a galera tem chifre, tem, parece animal, tal, tá ligado? As orelhas de meio elfo, sei lá, terceiro olho. Então tipo, foi uma mega alteração.
Unbelievable. We've met plenty of people caught up in pointless conflicts. Given the choice, I know they'd rather live in a world without tribal division. And yet the truth is, that world's already fallen apart. More than that, it's how we all got here.
Such drastic physical changes would normally have taken eons to effect. Accelerated by Magla, however, it was only a matter of a scant few centuries. You understand now, yes? We, the Elda, are the survivors of the old world. Our ancestors fled the flames of war and thus escaped the ensuing divisions.
Isso quer dizer que o príncipe, ou seja, eu tenho herança tanto do velho mundo quanto do atual.
Beggars belief. It is nothing short of astounding. But then, why do we know these monsters as humans?
By the war's end, both sides were consumed by fear. Their magical assaults escalated with each retaliation, until it was beyond all control. Our world became a hell. Rampant Magla distorts the body and mind. By now, I'm sure you know that better than you ever wished to. Humans are what remains of that branch of humankind that succumbed to melancholia. Broken, horrifying testaments to their own mistakes in the war of magic. Some persist, breed, and multiply as any beast does. Others live centuries of agony before their lives burn out. Even we do not know the full scope of their nature. Regardless, when the 8 tribes settled in this land, our claim to the human legacy was forgotten. To the people, the name only meant slavering, insane monsters. Therefore, we took on an alias instead. The same one by which we are known today. The Elda.
So, the old world couldn't control its magic, and... Wait. How does the Sanctus Church fit in? All this revisionist history to spread their magic igniters.
Indeed, what are magic igniters to you? Tools for the Church to shackle the people, perhaps? Or weapons that hide magic's true potential? Am I close to the mark? In truth, it's the opposite. Igniters are tools made to limit magic. Restraints made in self-discipline, meant to avert a repeat of history's destructive mistakes. The Sanctus Church of today is muddied by greed. But its faith was born of good intentions. They once urged self-control, and thus control of one's personal magic. At times, they preached we must close our eyes to the truth when it would only lead us to ruin. By this benign tenet, history was obscured, and the Elda denounced.
I had no idea. There's a grim irony in that.
His Majesty only hid his son's ancestry to protect him. Yet in the end, that meant Forden could attack the village under any pretext he liked, his motives concealed.
With all that said, you have now reclaimed your true form. The friends that stand with you are of different tribes and ideologies, but of one mind. As you are now, you may walk the path of the rightful king. The path of a modern world, where the tribes walk as individuals, yet with mutual respect and cooperation.
The sovereign's power, thou king to be, entrusted with the will of the people. To bear their hopes is to be their rock in the storm, and to face anxiety in their names.
Vai me dar novo arquétipo?
Yet, anxiety itself is not something to blindly reject or desperately cast away. It begins with a simple thing, acknowledging its existence. Accept thy weakness, walk forward alongside it, and thou wilt grow strong and true in its company.
É verdade que as pessoas são fracas. Sei que tem muita gente pensando que ajudar os necessitados não passa de um sonho distante. Mas não posso simplesmente aceitar os métodos de Lewis, deixar os fracos e os existentes morrerem como uma consequência natural. Oh. Sua Majestade estudou o arquétipo Príncipe. Vamos lá. Mesmo que as pessoas não me entendam de imediato, não tem problema. Sei que será significativo demonstrar minhas convicções no combate. Essa é minha missão.
That's it. I've made up my mind. I'm with you to the end, no matter what.
Where's this coming from?
Before we got there, this guiding voice thing told me my duties were over. But what am I gonna do? Just go, okay, bye? Especially after we've come this far together? No. I'm going to face Luis with you, even if it is scary.
Even you've got to cope with anxiety, eh?
I've realized something in our travels. Anxiety can lead people astray. But overcoming it makes a person stronger. There's always anxiety in the unknown. I know what it's like to be afraid of something I don't understand. That's why I think it's my duty to help people face and connect with their anxiety. Is that okay? From now on, it's not about orders. I'm with you, because I want to be.
Conto com você.
I'll be counting on you as always.
Same here. Stick close to me, okay?
Well, we're past the worst of it. But the problem remains. Luis's dark magic. We've seen it turn the boy into a monster. And no doubt he can do it again.
A forbidden spell, turning sane mortals into the fearsome human monsters. In other words, a destabilizing magic, turning a person's magla into a snarl beyond control. This man named Luis, he may have his own past in this ancient sanctum.
Luis has been here? What do you know of him?
What do you wish to know?
Que desproibido é esse?
What is this forbidden spell?
The essence of magic is in the control of magla. However, just as its chaos may be calmed, it can also be deliberately pushed out of control. That was what you saw. He whipped your innate magic to a frenzy and you were lost to melancholia. Just as the humans of the ancient war once were. In every age, the cause and effect are the same. People learn fear, become slaves to their anxiety, suffer, and thus, the power of magic is born.
Pardon me. You mean to say anxiety is the source of all magic?
Magla is a substance born of the heart, generated when one feels anxiety or fear. By certain means, it may be kindled into power. That is what we call magic. In this way, it is by virtue of the anxiety in our hearts that we gain the power to overcome it. Magic is a natural process, and anxiety is its invaluable, irreducible fuel. But in turn, those burdened with more anxiety and fear produce more and more magla from their hearts. Without the willpower to face your fear, the magla overflows. Uncontrollable by magic, it can give rise to strange and terrible happenings as it manifests, with the world embroiled in chaos. These outbursts of soul and magic may be happening all across our kingdom.
'Tis the answer to everything. The melancholia crystals, the beasts driven feral. The very land is erupting with the weight of its people's fears.
Hold on. If Luis's art is rooted in bringing out this chaos, then anyone might be next. He said he became a monster because he's Elda, but that wasn't the complete story. If what you say is true...
Indeed. All people today are ultimately descendants of humankind. If Luis so chooses, he could turn anyone.
Era assim que ele fazia pra atacar as vilas lá, tipo o que aconteceu com a Vila do Straw, né? Deve ter pegou alguém e falou, vai.
This transformation may be defied and overcome. What do you wish to know?
Me conte sobre Luis.
Who exactly is Luis?
Every time I heard of his doings in the wider world, I felt more and more sure that Luis is from this village. His knowledge of humans, his skills in magic, his grasp of darker arts, they're all beyond a mere soldier to begin with, however prodigious. As it happens, a name does occur. Among those old families who perished in the fire, there was one by the name of Caradrius, a family of doctors, I believe. In an effort to better heal the ills of the people, they had studied spells much like the ones he now exploits.
Chifre dele é falso?
The details are long since lost to the fire. But if Luis bears our legacy, that may be the reason for his vast knowledge.
Wait! What about Luis's ambition? The vision Rella saw? Do you think he actually wants to turn everyone in the kingdom into humans?
There is no known magic strong enough to turn many people at once, and none that can be cast quickly.
Even if it was possible, I don't know what it would accomplish. But this is Luis we're talking about. Who knows what he's thinking?
But if he would turn people into humans, if in the unlikely event that happens...
If there is any motive for such cruelty, it can only be hatred. If Luis is truly from this village, then their fire would have cost him everything. Such unjust tragedy could easily beget a thirst for revenge, even if it meant wielding a magic that twisted life into something terrible, instead of uplifting it. Indeed, it seems the opposite of an archetype. A truly dark power.
Who goes there? Someone flees!
That's him. The malformed assassin who struck at the prince. He's bound for the woods.
After him!
É o Zorba, pega ele. Pega o Zorba. Ah, não tem minha espadinha pra deslizar ainda, mano. Russell, estão todos seguros? Sim, não houve baixas, mas... Nunca me senti tão insignificante. O maldito nem notou minha presença. Sou um inútil. Não consegui sequer reagir ao invasor. Fiquei inerte como uma estátua. Não havia muitas alternativas. Por mais que o invasor fosse responsável pela derrocada da resistência, nossa reação poderia resultar em sacrifícios necessários. Acho que o bandido sentiu o enorme poder mágico resultante da ressurreição de Sua Alteza e veio ver o que aconteceu. Não sei porque fugiu, mas aposto que tem um plano. Tome cuidado, por favor. Ele foi avisar o Louis, né? Louis.
Ready?
Ainda não. Meteu o save. Mas quem diria, mano? É verdade chocante. Tipo, o spoiler que eu tinha tomado, tipo, eu vi o personagem com cabelo branco. Aí eu pensei, provavelmente vai ter uma magia aí que ele vai se fundir com ele, sei lá, né? Não achei que essa fosse a verdade aí, que ele na real, tipo, foi criado a partir da alma, da vontade do príncipe. Chocado.
Zorba. So it was you behind the attack?
Indeed it was. I killed the prince, though he died all too easily. And the odd thing was, his aura felt awfully similar to yours. So I decided to bide my time a while and listen. And it's a good thing I did. There really is something stranger going on. Who are you? Are you the prince or not? Whatever your answer, I must report back to Lord Luis.
Do you have any idea what Luis is really scheming? If he becomes king, everyone in this country is doomed.
If that is what Lord Luis so desires, then I shall see it done.
It's almost impressive how blind your faith in him is.
I suppose it's just easier to follow instead of thinking for himself. He's forgotten anything he really wants.
What did you intend to do? The crown is too heavy a burden for your reedy frame. Lord Luis is the true king, who will save the worthy. And you are nothing but a powerless imposter, only fit to be sacrificed.
He is no imposter, fiend. His Highness has finally taken his first steps on the road to victory. Here, at his journey's end, after enduring these countless hardships, he has become a true successor, a true ruler. Because he knows the people's suffering firsthand.
Well, imposter or not, it's all the same if he's a corpse. And so I shall return the prince and his dying legacy to the underworld, where they belong.
Bastard! I wondered why you ran away, but it was all to lure us straight to this monstrosity.
Keep your guard up. The Melancholia is fueling his magic power.
We've come too far to be stopped by something like him. Let's put our power on full display.
Já enfrentou um desse, não? Poder do seu mais novo arquétipo, Príncipe, irrompe.
This guy shows up again just when we've unlocked some new power. Kinda feels like fate by now. Okay, time for a new fight. Stay on your toes.
Novo, Príncipe. Príncipe é um arquétipo exclusivo do protagonista. Você pode usá-lo como um arquétipo já estudado na academia e trocá-lo como quiser. Ele pode agir como suporte para todas as técnicas de síntese. Ele possui atributos exclusivos e inexistentes em outros arquétipos, mas nenhuma de suas técnicas adquiridas pode ser transferida para outro arquétipo. Forte de herói. Causa dano físico forte de corte ao inimigo. Aumenta o dano contra monstros tipo humano.
The blade's edge.
You think yourself face me?
Diminui a
I have
defesa.
my methods.
I can't afford to let go upon royal power within.
Looks like we can't brute force through this one.
Are you prepared?
Vou mandar.
Burn to ash.
Tem que trocar essa magia de gelo dele, mano.
By the swan, let us fight as one. Not this oh power of heroes.
Lá dano perfurante.
Point of a sword.
Ah, eu podia ter passado o turno. Não, não ia dar certo. Ele vai se curar.
Shield! We've got to do something about those apples!
Eita, pô.
Let me handle those apples.
Garca quer fazer. Faz a Garca derrubar maçãs e impedir que o inimigo use. Parece que foi assim, vai lá.
Leave it to me. Now it can't heal itself anymore. Don't waste your chance. Get in there.
Ok.
Better be sure. Come forth, royal soul. No, this won't. Let's go. Still up?
Let us clean up.
Usar aqui o assassinar.
Rancor! Formidable indeed.
In the power of ice.
E faleceu. Espada do Deus do Vento.
Good. Tis done.
Not bad at all.
Vou botar aqui na força, vai.
I continue to grow.
Power can.
It feels like I'm making progress. The bastard got away.
I say, you chaps boggle the mind. It's no mean feat to fight on even footing with a human.
I'd hoped as much. You may yet have the power to face Luis at his full strength.
It's good to see you're safe. We've certainly taken these powers a long way. Maybe we thought ourselves invincible, but don't worry. At long last, the prince is safe. In a manner of speaking. Everything's going according to plan.
Still, what's our next move? The people think you a monster. We'll not find any public backing like this.
Alces once said that His Highness the Prince was a soul born into adversity. He is royalty and elder both, heir to the legacies of heaven and earth. He is water and fire, in condemned conflux. When the day comes that His Highness may be revered as the good ruler he can be, then the world will truly be free of prejudice. And that, he said, is why we fight.
In his own words, huh? We have to fight for what he believed in. All the more reason we can't turn from this.
Right.
Não existe método para se mudar anos de preconceito do nada. Mas, se eu não acreditar que as coisas podem mudar, elas continuarão como estão.
Come what may. My life is a shield raised in your highness's name. Are you prepared to fight Luis to the bitter end?
Tô preparado.
Of course. I'm prepared.
Yes, that determination is how we'll stop him.
If he ends up king, he'll be sending all traitors to the gallows. Not just us, but any innocent folks he doesn't find use for.
Vimos tantas vidas perdidas durante nossa jornada. Se o mundo acabar como Lois quer, nós só veremos essas despedidas. Temos que detê-lo.
Look, I'm never giving up hope either, okay? All we have to do is beat him, right?
Basicamente
That's
isso.
about what it comes down to. Yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. But we work best under pressure anyway.
You... I'm still amazed. You really do look just like your mother. Truly, you are a child of fate. Your mother, she loved your father, and you with all her heart. The injustice that befell this village is not your fault. But listen well. Once you leave this village, you cannot return until you have fulfilled your ambitions. After all, an old crone like me can't take care of you forever. If you want to overcome your hardest challenges, you'll have to face them yourself. The world's fate is in your hands. Please, put an end to the tragedies of humankind's failures.
Assim será.
Yes, I will.
Our final battle lies ahead. We cannot lose. Yet, before all else, His Highness has only just awoken. Let us rest in the gauntlet runner for today, and advance to the royal capital tomorrow.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? I was convinced we'd been together for a long time. But I can't believe we've only just met. The beginning of my journey may have been a false memory. But my journey with you and the memories we've made, those are all real. Well, guess I'm repeating myself. But I'm glad we're working together.
Digo mesmo.
Likewise, I'm glad to be your ally.
Yep. Though, I guess our toughest challenge is next.
Posso sentir a convicção de Garika para superar os obstáculos, bem como um vínculo inabalável com uma amiga aliada.
The mystical fairy, Gallica. She who still keeps the virtues of the mage. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of her newfound powers, work together to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Aí seguirá o 8 máximo. O grupo agora pode estudar a classe Elementalista e Arquimago. Durante o combate tático, você pode ganhar ícones de turno extras. Ah, os dois últimos que faltavam ali. Porra, agora tá cheio de arquétipo, mano.
Things get tough. Remember this magic. The music meant for you will play in your head.
É a magia da música que Gallica conjurou uma vez para mim. Pensando agora, talvez tenha me ajudado de forma que nem percebi.
By the way, the chiefess told me something about your novel. Apparently your parents gave you that book when you were still just a kid. I wonder what your parents wanted you to get from reading it. What they hoped for you, I guess. I suppose you'll have to find out for yourself.
Meus pais, em outras palavras, os falecidos rei e rainha do santuário Elda, me deram este livro. Talvez a utopia ilustrada nesse livro não seja uma mera fantasia, mas história do velho mundo transmitida pelas gerações no santuário.
The part we're reading today is the last chapter. It's about the ruler of this ideal world. Let's read it together.
Então estamos entrando no capítulo final do jogo.
The last chapter is about the ruler of a utopia. The one who governs this utopia must have an unwavering will. To maintain justice in this world, there are innumerable obstacles to overcome. Yet, as long as one lives by their ideals, those who support them are sure to follow. A utopia is not the creation of a single mind or a single power. It is a world shaped by all its people. The last part sounds a little more metaphorical. There's a little more. However, even a utopia may one day fray at the edges, and its people may come to conflict over the question of what is right. What is a true utopia? What is a true ruler? none have yet found the answers to these questions.
Ninguém ainda encontrou uma verdadeira... Não consigo ler. O velho mundo... Peraí. Tudo na rotina. O velho mundo parecia ser exatamente como uma utopia ilustrada nesse livro, acabou metido em guerras e foi destruído. Se este livro realmente segue o velho mundo, seria mesmo um romance sobre ideais? Parece ser bem o contrário.
So even the author of this book struggled with these questions. And if you become king, you'll have plenty of tough questions and struggles to face yourself. Lady Cruaday mentioned the king was a real idealist when he first arrived at the village, but little by little, the pains of reality crushed his hope. And he even lost his son. In the end, his will was broken. He didn't lift a finger to stop the church's rise to power. With that in mind, I can honestly see why people would be drawn to Luis. His values are radical and cruel, but he's devoted to them. Unshakable, even. But we can't lose either. For the sake of everyone who has believed in us along the way.
Mesmo se eu vencesse e reivindicasse o trono, no momento, é uma garantia de que sou capaz de concretizar meus ideais quase ingênuos. Só que minha única opção é acreditar neles e seguir em frente. Caso contrário, nada mudará para valer.
You've got the power to change the world. And the one who gave it to you was, well, yourself. And that's what I'm going to help you with. That's my mission. My real mission. And I'm going to see it through.
Depois de conversar com Gallica sobre os romances ideais, eu fechei os olhos. Academia. Parece que fui invocado por Moore em um sonho.
I saw what happened. As far as I know,
Caralho.
there is no record of your newly acquired archetype ever being used, even in ancient times. An archetype whose existence was
Apertei sem
only
querer o
theoretical,
botão aqui, mas por
known to
diálogo.
some scholars as the magic of true sovereignty. Indeed, a power of legend. I once said that to be Elda was your inescapable fate. However, it seems the truth was more complex than that. Magic is a process by which we confront fate and tame anxiety. And archetypes are its essence. They are manifestations of a resolve capable of heroic virtue. So then, what do you think is the foremost, most inescapable fate a person must bear?
The foremost fate? Not really sure, but for me to be me, and for you to be you? Or something like that.
Indeed. It is birth that is inescapable. You cannot choose who you are born to. And once your familial place is determined, that fate cannot be changed. Yet by some strange tangle of destiny, you were given a choice that the very act of existence denies most people. By your own will, you were born again, as a prince. Do you understand? You stand on the threshold of truly becoming a ruler, not as an unearned title of bloodline's chance, nor as a mere authority over people. You have taken control of your life. You are ready to rule your very self. That is what it truly means to be a hero. And it is the crux of the power that is awakened within you. What glorious coincidence indeed, that I, as a scholar of archetypes, might cross paths with and witness such a remarkably fated boy. It almost bespeaks...
Indeed. 'Tis his hands that bear our fate.
Who? I remember. I know that I know this voice. Had I forgotten it all this time? Yes. I swear I've heard it before. And I let it slip from my mind. Who are you? You with this voice that moves hearts. Speak. Who are you?
Why have you awakened this boy to his power?
If it is answers you seek, then go and claim them.
Are you? Could you be?
As for you, I bid thee awaken. Move onward to thy final ordeal. Take thy place at the final proving of the ascension of kings.
Minha consciência se desfez e eu fui mandado de volta ao sono pelo resto da noite. Isso me lembra, o autor do livro de fantasia é Moore. Será que Moore também visitou o santuário Elda antigo?
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
A nós aí, do arte.
Okay, all our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
All this royalty? It always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
Fiquem firmes até o fim.
We can't give up. Stand strong to the end.
Of course. No way we're losing here. I've got the fire in my eyes now.
About the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince. Can I ask you one more thing? Why is it that you want to be king? It's not about honor or power, is it?
Para proteger o meu país e meu povo, eu não me importo com honra. Dinheiro é sempre bem-vindo.
I want to protect this country and its people.
'Tis the answer I hoped for. As your knight, I will ever serve you with all my soul and ability.
Well, I guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be.
Tem que ir pra Grand Thread, né?
Let's move.
You see?
Yeah.
Olá. Já como não tem muita
After
escolha,
having made
vamos, né?
so many sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
That Elden boy is nowhere to be found. I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Speaking
Cadê
of
o
which, I
outro
don't
soldado
see
ali
the
que tava com a armadura?
The voice of the pro-Luis faction became too overwhelming. He was ultimately forced out of his position. Why is this happening? Even if the Sanctus Church's favor has collapsed, why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves, so they follow those who provide. We've certainly relied on that ourselves.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself. Now that we are out of ideas, what can we do?
Can you imagine Luis on the throne? Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping block. Do we hide? Run? Our ships are in port.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
O jeito de sobreviver. Me apoiem.
Well then, let us depart.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag. I killed the prince in the Elden village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears the boy candidate has merged with his corpse. It seems the prince is now resurrected.
Resurrected?
Yes, and what's more, The boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having traveled independently, and then returning to his corporeal body.
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince has reawakened in his sanctum. How interesting. After these long years, my chase may finally come to an end. My nemesis awaits.
Lord Luis, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you? Yeah, I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am worthy of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
Excellent. As planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured, that old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if Luis loses, a silver coin could turn into mountains of reef.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Vai.
Oh no, of course not. I'm just saying.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
A sanctus bigwig gambling away his tides? This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news? The times we live in, I tell you.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince. The fireworks went off the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated the entire thing?
Oi, churchman! You've seen Count Luis lie to us? You think he cast some big illusion?
An illusion, eh? What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like he knows in advance where these monsters will appear to cause havoc.
Easy to nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right. Let's keep things civil, eh? No sense becoming a monster yourself.
Oi! What's all this fuss about? Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just as anxious as the rest of us. All that yelling and thrashing helps fight it off. Humans have been sighted near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the royal capital. Only one place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the flying palace. What are we about to see?
Tá prestes a ver uma batalha épica.
Ah, the royal palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king? Stubborn and deathless? This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no war only because our very core is built upon a system of societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith-breaker, hast thou no shame in preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you wrought your face in stone and took it to the heavens? You're nothing. Just an ordinary, broken old man.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your ideals, but I will never make that mistake.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic.
Qual é? Fala aí.
The country truly is putrid with sin. In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Thou art Elda.
You were not always blind to this
Viu, falou que
country's
era
wrongs.
Elda, mas ele tinha chifre,
When
né?
you
Então é
visited
isso.
our sanctum,
Era falso.
I saw and knew the passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
You cannot stop
Ele
me any
desligou.
longer. Nor can anyone else. Save one lone possibility.
Pô, a gente vai chegar a
Snatching
tempo.
victory from the maw of catastrophe, the party descends again on the royal capital, Grand Trad, but they are greeted only by ominous skies. Their return hardly counts as a triumph, considering how they departed. Anticipating conflict, the Gauntlet Runner comes to a quiet stop.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Oi! That monster boy's come back!
Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still, we should walk with pride instead of trying to keep our heads down.
True enough.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns! Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored!
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why didn't His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed?
Cause he's an imposter! Just like Count Luis said! You'll not fool us again, beast!
Oi! Calm down. At least listen.
And you! Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a parapus like you, and you spit on him. Scum! Only thing traitors deserve is a tight rope and a stiff beam. And you want us to support the prince?
Lady Juno, I can't believe this. I admired you. Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince? I don't intend on dying with anyone. Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief! Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this pack of throne chasers. Shame. Shame!
Mustari girl! You ungrateful pagan! Count Luis brought down the Sanctus Church for you!
How dare you strike out at him?
They're all traitors, I say!
What is all this? The truth of the prince hardly matters to them. Every one of them's only concerned with their own emotions, and nothing else.
We'll have your heads on pike soon enough. Leave! Get out of our royal capital!
If they're just monsters, we can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi! Over here! Don't bother with them! No talking this one out. You need to run! Now!
Esse pregoeiro tá sendo mais útil do que eu imaginei, tá ligado? Na história.
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens are different beasts. Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Forden's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone, and oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh, that's all true then. I had my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt. This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that. To my shame. Before I met you people, I didn't have much to me but anger and quips. I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic. But we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
Euras disse que vai voltar para o Trotador. Acho que o povo da cidade se acalmou, pelo menos um pouco. Não seria fácil para as pessoas destruírem o nosso Trotador, mas, mesmo assim, é melhor não deixar ele sozinho. Vamos abrir a calada, todos foram à frente. Vamos lá.
Smash it all to bits.
Everyone, I'm glad you made it back in one piece. Since you left, Luisa's following has only grown.
have you changed? You're still the same person, aren't you?
'Tis quite a story, but it deserves explaining. I only hope you can believe us.
Alright, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. I had thought all this business with declaring yourself the prince was a well-meaning bluff, but under the deception, you were, in fact, the actual prince. Is that right?
Right.
Still, I mean, how do you get the whole country to believe your story? Is that even possible?
Frankly, I doubt it. We've just seen firsthand how far we'll get trying to talk the people down.
Then what will you do? If this goes on...
But you're still you, yes? You came to help everyone, just like you helped me before, right?
É isso mesmo.
Yes, that's right. It'll all turn out fine.
Good.
I see. So, even if no one believes you, you're still determined to settle the score with Luis head on?
Even so, the gulf between us is wider than ever. The people have all but named him their champion. With so little time, a guileless appeal to the public may fall on deaf ears.
Hard luck for the honest knight. And not much room left for civil debate now that Luis is openly advocating killing his opposition. Well, that ship sailed when the king's magic faded. Anyway, if there is a key to turning the tide, first place I'd look is the castle in the sky. You saw how violent and volatile the city folk are now, but I don't think it's as simple as fearing Luis. I've been keeping an eye on the royal capital while you were off on your jaunt through the woods. Frankly, the change in public sentiment was too sudden, unnatural. It's as if they've been collectively drained of their sanity, and if I had to guess what's causing it...
You're implying it's Luis's doing? All the eeriness in the sky. Is that because...
Don't know, but the change in the citizens is certainly odd. If something really is forcing it, that means we might still have a chance to fix it.
Certo. O que o Luis está fazendo no Palácio Real, se é realmente um mundo de humanos que ele deseja, nós saberemos quando enfrentarmos ele.
On the other hand, it may well be bait for a trap.
O motivo só pode estar lá.
There's gotta be something up there.
Then it's settled. Head to the royal palace and put a stop to whatever Luis is cooking up. With that Skyrunner, you're the only ones who can. And we'll fight in the ways we can too. We'll make sure the whole kingdom hears that the real prince is back after all the strife he's been through.
Indeed. If you can make things better, you might just inspire everyone to remember their own hopes and dreams. Maria's been terribly patient, waiting for you and believing in you. It'd be nice to see her smile again.
Right.
Se o Luis estiver provocando tantas perturbações estranhas, detê-lo será útil para crescermos no páreo. Ao resgatar a civilidade e racionalidade, vamos pavimentar o caminho para derrotar o Luis. Temos que seguir otimistas.
I'll always believe in you. We'll all do our best, so you can be a good king.
Indeed. If we win, I suppose you really will be king.
We're counting on you, O king.
'Tis too late today for a grand charge, I fear. Let us take a night's rest, and on the morrow we make for the castle.
What to pick?
Vai ter o save. A gente já tá o quê? Quase 2 horas só em diálogo aqui, mano. Descansar.
Good night.
The day of the hero draws near, which shall see the crowning of a new king. 31 days remain.
To all the people who dwell in this land,
Tá só a cara do Luís agora no olho.
Soon, naught but 1 month will remain. On the dawn of the day of the hero, the one who has inspired the greatest faith of the people shall inherit the kingdom. I bid thee forget not these words.
Wasn't expecting to wake up to such a spectacle, but I suppose that confirms it. This is where it ends.
Luis has already fortified himself behind the palace walls. Good thing we've got a Skyrunner, or it'd already be over for us.
Or perhaps it is us he has been waiting for all this time.
However disturbing the world looks now, 'tis only a prelude to the deadland Luis strives for.
Sky looks proper hellish already. And with all the humans out there, it's no wonder everyone's losing their grip.
Well, he wanted a fair world where strength decides everything. Funny how that's indistinguishable from absolute chaos.
But it's Luis who has the most support right now. And that wasn't born of deception. He broke the nation's order, and everyone knows it.
True enough. That's what got our Della and I dreaming to begin with. Figured a world where the poor and weak get trampled on was a world worth breaking. Come to think of it, what do we all stand for, really?
Não sei.
Honestly, I don't know yet.
That's your big kingly declaration? I don't really know what everyone's talking about. But everyone who's seen you and your friends say you're amazing. You make them really, really happy. Because, you know, you've got all the tribes in your team. Everyone's different, but you keep working together and doing great. You're so cool.
A fair point. You're quite right, Maria. It is a hard thing to word, so forgive my fumbling. But perhaps it is a matter of standing for something Luis does not believe exists. We must prove that it does.
If you keep on believing in what you want, and you keep on working hard for it, it will come true.
That's right, love. I can think of plenty of people who would be much happier if they took a page from your book.
I see now. This is surely the essence of true magic.
Best of luck, Your Highness. After all those speeches about taking the throne, it'll be awfully irresponsible to go dying on us now.
Se Luis vencer, todos aqui vão com certeza se tornar sacrifícios. Temos que impedir isso custe custar. Temos que descobrir o que Luis está fazendo no Palácio Real, assim que possível, e pôr um fim a isso.
Right, thank you.
Well, we'd best keep an eye on the calendar. The king's deadline was the dawn of the day of the hero, so we've got until the day before. And that won't be the end of things either. Even if people come to their senses, it would amount to nothing if Luis sits upon the throne. Personally, I think we should prioritize our main objective here. I'm sure we'd get it done, but we have to make sure we have at least one day to spare before the day of the hero.
We've got a few days left, so it's up to you how we spend them. When we set off, let's do it with no regrets. So Luis is hiding in the floating royal palace here. We have to stop him. I won't accept King Luis. That's...
Let's put an end to this.
Um avatar celeste, preciso ir até o Palácio Real no céu para impedir que o mundo seja levado à loucura por Luis. Não posso deixar que um homem com aspirações destrutivas para o futuro suba o trono. Pensa Luis, o cruel. Você acabou de iniciar uma missão com prazo para desafiar o Palácio Aéreo. Use a mesa redonda e o tortador coraçado para partir. Devido à instabilidade de Magla no reino, o país inteiro passa por um clima de terror e a situação ainda pode piorar. Cuidado com um clima inclemente chamado flagelo. O apoio e os poderes dos seguidores serão importantíssimos para superar Luis e receber a coroa. Use tempo disponível para garantir que não terá arrependimentos quando partir. Põe um fim nos planos destrutivos do Lois e salve o futuro do reino antes do dia do herói. Palácio Real. Todo mundo tem que estar pronto antes de ir. Com certeza vai ser bem diferente da última vez que vocês estiveram por lá. Beleza. Então agora, galera, eu vou encerrar o vídeo por aqui. Foi muita informação para digerir nesse vídeo, né? A história aí desenrolou de um jeito que eu não esperava. Uma fada aqui. E próximo vídeo aí, então, a gente vai pegar aí bastante missão secundária. Vamos pegar besourinhos dourados. E provavelmente vamos para algumas dungeons aí para dar uma farmada. E acho que é isso. Agora a gente tem aqui, né, os novos feiticeiros aqui, né, ó. O que esse aqui dá? Dano de fogo forte. Talvez compense tentar dar uma upada nele. Arquimago. E dano de trevas. Legal, interessante também. Cadê? Esse daqui é o do Príncipe? Não, esse daqui é do Vigarista. Ah, o do Príncipe é só isso. Ser um cooperativo. Aliados realizam ataques de apoio mais facilmente. Os inimigos são atordoados mais facilmente. Batalha rápida. Aumenta o ataque. Causa dano mágico forte de luz. Recupera PV e PM sempre que acerta um ataque de apoio. Adiciona 4 ícones de turno. Oh, isso é bom. Existe a dano de todas as afinidades. Causa dano físico extremo de onipotência ao inimigo. Aumenta o dano contra monstros do tipo humano. Interessante, interessantíssimo. Deixa eu ver esse daqui. Esquiva, tenta de evitar a Eleger amnésia em um inimigo. Adicionar o remove ícones do turno. Doar PM. Transfere PM para um aliado. Legal. Pode infligir confusão. Legal, interessante também. Tem bastante coisa aqui então. Mas aí, então, no próximo vídeo. Eu vou botar no Heisman depois. Nova árvore aí do farsante. E vamos ver o que a gente desenrola da história. E de conquista. Então é isso, agradeço demais que acompanhou o vídeo até aqui. Não esqueça de deixar seu like, se inscrever no canal, comentar o que você está achando do jogo, dicas, sugestões de jogos que vocês gostariam de ver por aqui. Vejo vocês no próximo vídeo. Valeu, falou e fui!